ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crutcher Scott Field on the campus of Abilene Christian University for tonight's matchup featuring the Falcons from the United States Air Force Academy and your ACU Wildcats. Fans, at this time, we ask you please rise and join us in our prayer this evening. Would you pray with me, please? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your persistent guidance and helping hand in need. Father, we come to you today to ask for guidance and safety for each of the players, coaches, officials, and spectators in today's game. Lord, we thank you for being our Father and for allowing each of us to walk in the light that you created. Finally, Father God, we ask that you allow each and every one of us to see the plan that you have and to follow that out to the best of our abilities. We thank you for being God Almighty, and it's in your Son's name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And now we ask you please remain standing and remove your hats for the presentation of our nation's colors by the Dais Air Force Base Honor Guard, followed by the singing of our national anthem performed tonight by Melissa Harrell.
Air Force, attention! Present! Huh!
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Two-game midweek series. The Abilene Christian University Wildcats playing host to the United States Air Force Academy Falcons. A special night, a special presentation of the colors here as the night gets underway, and a flyover right there, the B-1 Lancer from Dais Air Force Base right here in Abilene, Texas, making an appearance. Boy, what a great night for baseball tonight as ACU plays host to Air Force. We welcome you to Crutcher Scott Field on the campus of ACU. Andy Penny alongside Bobby Thompson for tonight's game. The Wildcats come in an overall record of 15 wins, 12 losses on the year. They're 7-5 in Western Athletic Conference play. Winners of 4 of their last 5, playing their best baseball of the season here as the month of April gets underway. The Falcons of Air Force, they are 10-15 on the young season, 4-7 in the Mountain West Conference, making their first trip to Abilene, the first in a series between these two teams, the Wildcats and the Falcons. And Air Force tonight will be recognized all night long. Of course, Abilene, the host of Dyess Air Force Base, or the home of Dyess Air Force Base. So a special night tonight as Air Force makes their way to Abilene Crutcher Scott Field, the campus of ACU. And it should just be a fantastic night of baseball tonight, ACU and Air Force. Again, Andy Penny alongside Bobby Thomason. Bobby, we welcome you into the broadcast. And it's an ACU team that's been on the road for their last 4 games.
It has, but had some success in those last 4 games. Obviously winning 3 out of 4. Big game last Tuesday night against TCU, a 6-2 victory over the Horned Frogs. Garrett Egley going tonight for the Wildcats again. And, that's really a big game last week because the week prior to that, here at home, TCU kind of took it to the Wildcats and to get a little bit of revenge, but also to kind of get the right mindset as they go into Lamar, now coming in to face Air Force. And I'll speak very quickly about the Air Force Academy. Coach McCarty has talked about wanting to be involved with local military for a number of years, going back all the way to when he was at Campbell University near Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And to be able to do this, to bring special jerseys tonight for the Wildcats, Dyess on the front of them. And actually for Air Force, they even told us before the game that this is the closest that an Air Force base is to one of the schools that they play at. And we won't be able to pull up this picture, but we have a picture of the Air Force team coming down on an Air Force jet. Looked kind of like a MAC flight, Military Airlift Command flight. And a team that is in transition a little bit, but, Coach sorry, just mispronounced his name, Kozlowski, is really happy with the way his guys are playing, and we'll talk about some of those as we get into this ball game. But for ACU, they really want to keep this winning streak going that they've had coming in since last week.
It's good to be back home for the first time in 9 days. They'll face an Air Force team again, 10-15, 4-7 in conference. You'll see this lineup for Coach Kozlowski and the Falcons tonight. Blake Coven will lead things off, and batting second tonight is Sam Kahula-Singham. Gabriel Garcia bats third. Paul Skeins, the designated hitter, bats fourth. Jake Grieving in the 5 spot. Jay Thomason, the hot bat with 9 home runs in his last 9 games. He bats 6th. Eric Joe, the shortstop, bats 7th. Traden Tamia bats 8th. And Aaron Reyes to start at catcher tonight for the visiting Falcons, playing their 21st road game in 26 games. They are road warriors. And tonight on the mound for ACU, the Falcons will face Garrett Egley. As Bobby talked about, no record thus far for Garrett. His 3rd start in 6 appearances, 8.10 the ERA, just 10 innings of work, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks on the season. But coming off his most impressive performance, as you talked about, 4 innings of baseball against TCU on the road at Fort Worth last week. Doesn't get the decision, but the Wildcats get the win, and it was because of the start of Garrett Egley in those first 4 innings.
Absolutely, and then Carlton comes in relief. Riley comes in to close the door last Tuesday night. We'll see if they can continue that tonight.
And we are ready for a special night of baseball. Egley into the line. Blake Coven has stepped in on the left side, and the first pitch ripped into the right center field gap. Colton Eager, the right fielder, trying to cut it off. He'll make a dive, and he will, but it won't stop Coven from stopping at second base. 1 pitch and an extra base hit here for the Falcons. A nice start for the visiting team.
Coven from the left side did an excellent job of hitting a line drive. Now the wind here at Crutcher Scott Field tonight blowing out towards the left field foul pole. Ball is going to get up in this jet stream and go. That one's a line drive to right center. Excellent job. Almost got a triple out of it as the Wildcats mishandled it just a little bit in the outfield.
So 1 pitch and a runner in scoring position. Here's Traden Tamia who steps in. Check that, my apologies. Sam Kahula-Singham in the 2 spot. He wears number 5. He bats on the left side too. Egley will work out of the stretch, and the first pitch, an off-speed pitch in for a strike. Beautiful night of baseball tonight. Sunny, clear skies, 94 degrees as we start game time. We'll see the wind blowing about 15 to 20 miles an hour tonight. Wind gust up to 30, and it blows really from right field pole to left field pole. It'll be a hitter's ballpark tonight, especially on the left side of the field. Egley comes set, and the 0-1. It's a ball lifted out of play left side, and it's quickly 0-2.
For Kahula-Singham, comes in hitting .337 on this season. He started all 25 of the Falcons ball games. Just 2 home runs on the year, 6 RBIs, puts the ball in play quite a bit, and is one of the speedsters and can run for the Falcons.
As you can see, the Wildcat lineup here, Lattice on left, Tatro in center. It's Eager in right field tonight. Bryson Hill to start at third base, Bash Randall at shortstop, Brett Hammond at second, Hunter Geezer at first. Tanner Tweed to start tonight, the battery mate of Garrett Egley, as this pitch down in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Tanner last week, or excuse me, Garrett Egley last week, and Tanner Tweed behind the plate. Garrett Egley on the mound, 4 innings of work, 2 runs, just 1 earned against TCU. 3 hits, and 2 of those 3 hits were bunt singles in the infield. Garrett was really in control last Tuesday night. There's a 1-2 fouled back to the screen. We'll do 1-2 again.
And he went with 0-2. He threw 1 in the dirt. He comes back, fastball to the outside part of the plate, trying to get Kozlowski to get that kind of a weak swing, so to speak, able to just get something on it, fouls that one back. Now bring up 1-2 the count. Again, no outs here at Crutcher Scott Field. Coven at second base after a leadoff double.
Egley the look in, he'll come set. Now the look back at second base. Second pitch in the series, a 1-2 count. Here comes the 1-2 again. This one, chopper to the right side of the infield. Randall at shortstop on the right side of the bag, makes the play, a spin, but a bad throw to first. It's an E6 on the play, and that will allow Coven to come in and score as well. Well, it's a heck of a play by Randall up the middle to get to that ball. That ball's chopped on the right side of the second base bag. You'll see the replay. A long run for Randall, but he's able to get there deep in the whole second base side. But then the spin and the throw is well off the mark to Geezer. E6 on the play, and the Falcons a quick 1-0 lead here in the top of the first.
It's hard to say, he should have eaten that ball. He's probably made that play hundreds of times in practice, and this time holds it just a little bit longer as he was spinning around to throw it. Goes wide of Geezer. Unearned run comes in. Kozlowski at first base.
Now Gabriel Garcia steps in. He started all 25, make it 26 games now for the Falcons. 301 the average for Gabriel. That's behind Kozlowski's team-leading 337. 31 hits and 103 at-bats. Team-leading 19 RBIs, as you can see, with 4 home runs. 0-1 the count here as Egley will come set. Pitch on the outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. We mentioned the jersey tops tonight for ACU. The black jersey tops on the front. The word Dias, the name of the Air Force Base here in Abilene, the west side of Abilene in Taylor County. The pinstripe pants tonight. And the hats that still say ACU across the front. Here's the 1-1. Curveball swung on and missed. It's 1-2.
Good pitch that time. Had a lot of bite going down. Looked like Garcia was kind of looking for a fastball up and was a little out in front of that one. 1-2 now the count.
You can also see on the jerseys the American flag on the back, just above the number. The word Abilene in cursive there on the right sleeve. There's a throw over. Kozlowski back in.
Kozlowski, Thomason, and Coven leading base stealers for the Air Force. Those 3 individuals are 13 of 15 on the season, stolen base and success.
Here's the kick, the 1-2. That ball skips in. Nice stop by Tweed behind the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is the first of a 5-game homestand for ACU. It's a 2-game midweek series this week. Second game of the series tomorrow afternoon at 3 here with Air Force. Back to Western Athletic Conference play this weekend, a home series with Sam Houston. Big series against Sam Houston. There's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Egley. And first out here at the top of the first.
After giving him a fastball on the first pitch, then goes off speed, threw a couple in the dirt, that time with a changeup, and got him to chase after it. And that's going to bring up now Paul Skeins. Skeins, the biggest Air Force player that there is, 6'6", 235. Well put together young man. He is their Friday night starter. He also is a catcher on the weekends. He'll be DHing tonight for the Falcons.
Tall drink of water in the right-handed batter's box. Egley's first pitch stays on the outside for a ball. Yeah, you're looking at Skeins, the sophomore. Yeah, the average just above 200. But you're looking at the Mountain West Conference Pitcher of the Week from last week on Friday night. 6 innings of scoreless baseball against Fresno State. No runs, 3 hits, and a Air Force win 6-2 on Friday night. tonight just the designated hitter. But definitely somebody to keep your eye on. The Mountain West pitcher of the week who still plays in the batting rotation the rest of the week. He's ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes as Egley comes set. He'll check Kozlowski at first, and the pitch stays high, 3 balls and no strikes.
Over the past weekend, they were playing Fresno. He went 3 of 9 with a run, a couple of strikeouts, but only hit on Saturday and Sunday, did not hit on the game that he pitched in.
See if he gets the take sign here. 3 balls and no strikes. Egley the 3-0. This one put into play. Ground ball that's through into left field. It's a single. Had the green light on a 3-0 count. Skeins has his first hit of the night. Kozlowski will move up to second. So 2 on, 1 out. And Air Force off to a nice start here at Crutcher Sky.
That's going to bring up, Jake Grieving, the right fielder for the Falcons. Grieving coming into the Bryant's ball game, hitting .293 on this season with 3 home runs. He's got 2 ducks on the pond out in front of him now.
When he toes the line in that left-handed batter's box, all the way deep and all the way on the toes on the front line. Egley works in some trouble. He did not have any trouble last week against TCU. TCU barely had any base runners in Egling's 4 innings of work. Here's the kick in the first pitch. And misses for a ball. Garrett in the second inning last week against TCU. As you can see Grieving's numbers again, .293 with the 3 home runs, 13 RBIs. But Egley last week in the second inning against TCU gave up back-to-back bunt singles to get runners on the base pass. And then run came across on a Wildcat throwing error, unearned run in that second inning. Other than that, boy, TCU just not very effective in Egling's 4 innings. Here's a ball chopper foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Even tonight in the ball game, obviously the first pitch, Coven hits it into right center field, clear double. But the next one, chopper up the middle. Randall gets to it, makes it an errant throw, and then the hit by Skeins there. Actually, if Randall hadn't been shading over kind of into a double play depth, would have been able to get to that ball. It was a slow roller through the left side of the infield. So he's kind of getting them to swing and hit balls that he wants to. Just right now, he's had a couple that have found some holes and put 1 run on the board for Air Force.
It's a good chance for the Wildcat defense to try to get a double play. Try to get out of this top of the first. The 1-1 count. Here's the 1-1. Liner foul out of play on the right side.
And not that ACU is in a full-out shift. Randall is just a few steps to the left of second base, so they are playing somewhat for him to pull the ball. So you've got to expect Egley to pitch Garcia on the Grieving, on the inside part of the plate, hoping that he will hit it to that right side.
Already 1 strikeout in the inning for Garrett. Tries to get his second here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's the sign from Tweed that he likes. Here's the kick in the 1-2. Off-speed pitch lifted. Foul territory, but a chance for Ladisaw to get there and make a play, and it's right on the line. Actually, had that ball fallen in, it might have been fair. Tagging and going to third is Kozlowski, and he's in there. As again, Ladisaw makes the catch and left right on the line, but able to make the catch for a big second out. Runners on the corners. The inning continues, and here comes Jay Thomason.
Thomason is hot as any player on the Air Force roster. 9 home runs in 9 games. And here at Crutcher Scott Field with tonight's win, probably not a pull win, and that's probably why ACU has been pitching to the right side of home plate. But if Thomason's able to catch one, it can go out to right field. Speaking of right field, a brand new video board out there here at ACU.
Yeah, recently installed last week in the 4-game road trip. There's Thomason's numbers again. 9 home runs in the last 9 games. There is only 9 home runs of his Air Force career. Did not hit one in his freshman season. First ball here, it's a grounder, and it's to Hammond. Hammond will go the short way to Randall at shortstop. Fielder's choice, and the side is retired. Falcons do scratch first, though. They get the first run on the board. 1 run on 3 hits. Wildcat bats will come to bat. You'll see them in the bottom of the first. It's Wildcat baseball. As we welcome you back to Crutcher Scott Field. You can see that beautiful new video board back in the background behind the home, the right field wall. And here's the home dugout. You're looking at the ACU Wildcats about to come up here in the bottom of the first. Air Force with one in the top of the frame. Wildcats will try to respond. Glad you're with us tonight as we have Abilene Christian Baseball here on ESPN. Look at the Wildcat lineup, which Coach Rick McCarty will send up in game number 28. We'll lead off with Mitchell Dixon, who typically is the catcher. Tonight he's the designated hitter. Grayson Tatro, Colton Eager, 1, 2, 3. Bash Randall, Miller Ladisaw, Tanner Tweed, the started catcher tonight. He'll bat in the 6th spot. Bryson Hill, Brett Hammett, and Hunter Geezer round out the lineup here for the Wildcats. ACU a team batting average of .288, 35 home runs on the season. It's a team with some power, and they'll lead it off with Mitchell Dixon. They will face tonight Jake Sansing on the mound, who makes his 8th start. He's 1-1, 6.35 the ERA. Dixon will lift an off-speed pitch into left field for a base hit. So Air Force a leadoff double to get things in the top of the first. Mitchell Dixon and the Wildcats a leadoff single here in the bottom of the first inning.
And I know nobody else was here this earlier today during batting practice, but Dixon hit probably 20 balls that looked exactly like that as they go through. Now we'll go around the horn for the Air Force Falcons. In left field, Gabriel Garcia. In center, Blake Coven. Right field will be Jake Grieving. Around the infield at the hot corner will be Jay Thomason. Joe Eric will be at shortstop. Trayton Tamia at second base. And Sam Kulasingam at first. The battery tonight behind the dish, it'll be Aaron Reyes. And on the mound is Jake Sansing. Sorry.
Here's first pitch swinging Grayson Tatro. It's fielded by the first baseman Kulasingam, who throws to second. They'll get the lead runner Dixon. The throw back is high, and Tatro will be safe. Tatro will be safe at first. Chance to turn two as that ball got to Kulasingam in a hurry at first base. And plenty of time to get to Dixon, but the throwback not in time. Fielder's choice on the play. We'll see if they charge that an error or not. I think Tatro may have beat that, but we'll see.
I think it'll go down as a fielder's choice. It won't be a hit for him as he'll stay on first base. That will bring us to the hottest hitter for ACU, Colton Eager, 358 on the season. 28th starting game with 4 home runs, 31 RBIs, hitting from the left side.
And first pitch here is in for a strike. I tell you what, 2 pitches and two batters already to the third batter on pitch number 3. Sansing working fast. There's Eager's numbers again, 4 home runs, 31 RBIs. Leads the conference in doubles. He has 12 of those doubles on the year. Back in is Tatro.
And those first 3 pitches that he's thrown to the first 3 batters, all fastballs, all strikes. Obviously, Dixon hits one into left field. Tatro with the grounder to first, and now Eager took that first one. 0-1 the count.
Sansing another throw over. Colton, the hitting streak currently sits at 6. That's the longest current hitting streak for the Wildcats. He does have a hitting streak of 11 on the year. He's reached base in 13 consecutive games. He has been a hard out, a tough out, not only this year, but last year as well for Southland Conference Player of the Year. He'll foul this one back. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
I really would have anticipated a pitch in the dirt after throwing to first base back-to-back times. Sansing, a lot of times what pitchers will do is they'll try to throw something in the dirt that keeps that runner at first a little bit closer in case it were to bounce away from the catcher. That one was low. Eager got a little bit on it, but it's now going to be an 0-2 count.
The infield plays a double play depth. Thomason at third plays well off the third base line. There's another throw over. Tatro caught, picked off the bag. Tatro leaning the wrong way. Sansing able to pick him off. And Tatro without a dive back into first, and a nice tag by Kulasingam on the leg. So you'll see Tatro just lean the wrong direction. And got caught. Yeah, he missed the bag as he tried to step back on it. Good camera work there by the ACUTV crew. Now 0-2 to Eager with the bases empty. He'll foul one off opposite way. Wildcats 15-12 on the year. It's been an up and down 15-12. And what I mean by that is they've had 4 different 3-game winning streaks on the year, and then they've had 3 different 3-game losing streaks on the year. So it's just been a roller coaster ride, but currently playing pretty well. Egro hit one softly over to first base. Kozlowski has it. He'll step on the bag, 3 unassisted, and the side is retired. A leadoff single does no damage for the Wildcats. We've completed 1 at Crutcher Scott. Air Force an early 1-0 lead. And welcome you back to the top of the second. ACU goes quietly in the first inning. Air Force an early 1-0 lead. We'll see the bottom 3 of the lineup. Joe, Tamia, and Reyes. First time through the lineup against Garrett Egley. And Bobby, first inning for Garrett, he gave up some hits, but he was able to strand 2 on the base pass, 20 pitches in the inning. So not a bad first inning for Garrett, and he's back out for inning number 2.
Not at all. And what he did was he kept the ball down, and with the wind the way that it's blowing, you don't want to get anything up in the air. And I will say for Air Force, watch some film on them. They've got it's 415 to dead center, but a big fence over top of that. And a lot of that because of the thinner air in Colorado Springs, balls do travel a little bit further. So their hitters have a tendency of hitting more fly balls. If they're able to do that tonight in this West Texas wind, it could be a long night for ACU.
Here's Eric Joe to lead off the top of the second against Garrett Egley. 20 pitches in that first inning for Garrett. The first pitch, fastball, letter high in for a strike. Joe, the average at 225, no home runs, 7 RBIs. And here's the 0-1, that's lifted and will fall into left center field. Cut off out by Tatro, he'll get it back in, but back-to-back innings, Air Force has had the leadoff man on. This time it's an Eric Joe single.
An excellent job of taking that pitch. It was a little elevated that time. Hits it on the line drive. No play on the infield for that. Clean single into the outfield. And around here tonight, have a good crowd here. A lot of people up from Dyess Air Force Base. And Coach McCarty, I know, has been wanting this for a number of years, but he wants the people stationed at Dyess Air Force Base to know they have a home at ACU. Come watch baseball here when you're able to. And really wants to create a bond between ACU and the Air Force Base.
That's his first pitch, bunted into foul territory. Long run for Bryson Hill. He can't get there. As Air Force trying to play the small ball with trading Tamia. Missed the sacrifice attempt, third base side, and it's 0-1.
And in that play, you're trying really to bunt it. We would typically try to bunt that towards the first base, make that first baseman make a decision. Third basemen are used to coming in, picking up the ball, throwing it to first base. So I'm a little surprised they tried to hit it down the third base line instead of first base.
Hill now at third base, plays on the last step of the infield grass. Swinging away though this time and lifting one into right center field, down for another hit. Tamia will move Joe all the way over to third base. Runners on the corner, nobody out. And the hit parade continues here for the Falcons. Hot bats here in the first time through the lineup against Garrett Egley.
And a good job of hitting right where the ball's out. That one not directly down the plate, a little to the outside. But Tamia does an excellent job of kind of going with that into right center field. Aggressive runner, and Eric Joe gets all the way to third. So runners at the corners, no outs here, top of the second inning.
8 batters to the plate for Air Force, 5 hits. Now here's batter number 9, and Aaron Reyes. Reyes, a freshman, just making his second start on the year at catcher. 4th game he's played in. Chance to add to an early Air Force 1-0 lead. Egley out of the stretch. He'll look at his runners on the corners. And first pitch is in for a strike on the inside portion. Wildcats here play double play depth up the middle. They'll take a double play and give up an early run here in the second. Hill still at third base, plays even with the bag. He's about 10 to 12 feet off the line. Zegley will come set again. And the 0-1. Another curveball swung on and missed.
And what he did last week against TCU that he's trying to do tonight is get the ball inside, especially to those right-handed hitters. And that time back-to-back, the first pitch was a curveball for a strike. That time swinging through it was Reyes. And now an 0-2 count.
Zegley looks for strikeout number 2 on the night. Big first out here the second. Here's the 0-2. Another curveball. This one put into play, but foul. Hit down that third base line.
To me, off and running on that pitch. Kind of got to think after he squared that that curveball up, they'll probably come back with either something even slower or try to speed it up, maybe go high fastball.
Thus far, all 3 pitches of the series have been off-speed pitches. So Reyes has not seen an Egley fastball yet. It's 0-2. Here comes the 0-2. It's a fastball low. A little movement on it, but it misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And again, these 2 teams will square off tomorrow. Special first pitch time will be 3:05 here at Crutcher Scott Field.
A unique 2-game midweek series. Wildcats have not had a 2-game midweek series this week. Egley the 1-2, throw over. All the more important here for Garrett to have a nice outing. 5 games in the week as opposed to 4. Of course, the back 3 are Western Athletic Conference games against the team that ACU's tied with in the standings in the Southwest Division and Sam Houston State. Here's now the 1-2, swung on and missed for strike 3. Reyes is down on strikes. Big first out here at the top of the second.
That'll really open up a little bit what this defense can do. And, did a good job getting him to chase that one down out of the strike zone. Now we're going to bring up back to the top of the order, Blake Coven. Coven 1 for 1 on the day with a run scored. Hit that double out to right center field.
You can see the replay there. That was a curveball, just fell off the tabletop. Reyes swung through it. Yeah, Coven, again, as Bobby mentioned, first pitch of the game, roped a double into right center field, came in to score the Falcons' lone run. So 1 time through the lineup, Air Force with 5 hits of their 9 batters. But a chance here for Egley. Try to generate a double play ball and get out of here with no damage done. Wildcat defense has turned 30 double plays on the year.
To me, at first, 1 for 1 and going. And stolen base attempts this year.
Check swing and Coven goes. It's no balls and 1 strike. You see the average there, 286 the average, no home runs. Air Force as a team has only hit 15 home runs this year, and we mentioned that Jay Thomason has 9 of those.
I think a lot of that has to do with how many road games they've played so far.
This is road game 21 out of game number 26 for the Falcons. Yeah, if you played in Colorado Springs a little more often, you might hit some home runs in that elevation. There's a ball, chopper up the middle, could be 2. High hop though, Hammett, his only play is over to first base, and he'll make it in time. It's a big second out, but it is an RBI as Eric Joe comes in to score. Do a job, kid. Blake Coven does. It's 2-0 Air Force. Good speed there by trading Tamia going first to second. It was going to be a tough play. A high chop for Hammett, who had to charge first step of the infield grass. You'll see the replay here. And coming in to score from third again is Eric Joe.
Joe did a good job reading that play as it was on the ground, reading it was high. There was going to be no chance of a play at home plate. Able to get in relatively easy. Sam Kozlowski now to the plate. 0 for 1 on the day, did reach on an error.
Here's the first pitch, lifted foul. Long run for Ladisaw. Don't think he'll get to this one. It's out of play, and it's 0-1. You can see a good crowd there in the background here at Crutcher Scott. And the new video board you can see over in right field. That was installed just last week as ACU was on the road for 4 games last week. And good job by the athletics department and all those involved to get that into play. First night, the debut of the video board over in right field. The 0-1 to Kozlowski. Foul one the other way. No balls and 2 strikes.
Speaking of the video board, they don't have quite everything downloaded. You've got to download from one computer to another, make sure it can transition. There were some things, the aspects were shot on a 16:9. Other things have been taken on a 4:3 aspect. So they're trying to get a lot of stuff lined up. This weekend it should be really, really good when Sam Houston comes into town.
Egley works ahead in the count, a chance to get out of the inning. No balls and 2 strikes. A long look in this time to Tanner Tweed. Now the set in the 0-2, runner on the move. That one skips away from Tweed back to the screen.
Here he comes.
Trying to score all the way from second. The throw is in time. A beautiful play at home. A wild pitch by Egley. On the move was Tamia. He would steal second to third, but then tried to score on the wild pitch. He's thrown out. Great play by Tanner Tweed. We'll move to the bottom of the second. ACU a 2-0 lead. And you'll see a heck of a play here off a wild pitch. ACU stays with it. Trading Tamia, stealing third, trying to score on a wild pitch, but he is thrown out at home plate. Tanner Tweed, a nice job of retrieving the wild pitch. Garrett Egley covering home for the third out of the top of the second. We move to the bottom of the second. Falcons the 2-0 lead, and here come the Wildcats here in the bottom of the second. Glad you're with us tonight. Andy Penny alongside Bobby Thompson. Western Athletic Conference baseball here on ESPN.
It'll be 4, 5, 6 in the Wildcat lineup. Bash, Randall, Miller, Ladisau, and Tanner Tweed.
Wildcats a leadoff single by Mitchell Dixon in the first. And now here's Bash Randall, opposite field down the line. This will be extra bases. Rounding first, he'll motor into second on cruise control to stand up. Leadoff double, bottom of the second, and the Wildcats in business here, courtesy of Bash Randall.
Did a really good job getting out ahead of that ball. As you see, assistant coach go out there and kind of give him a high five there as he takes off all of his hitting equipment. But an excellent job of catching that out in front of him. Pulls it right down the line, gets it down into the corner. I think he could have pushed for a triple, but at this point, you're still down 2 runs. You want to get as many runners on as you can. Now that'll bring up Miller Ladisau.
Runner in scoring position here, nobody out. And here's Miller Ladisau as mentioned. Sansing the first pitch. This one roped right back up the middle. That will be into the outfield for a base hit. Rounding third, making his way in is Bash Randall. No reason for a triple. Just let Miller Ladisau drive you in. The Wildcats on the scoreboard as they get one back. 2 pitches, 2 hits, and a run on the scoreboard. It's 2-1 now. Air Force on top.
That was back-to-back pitches hit hard as both Randall and Ladisau really put some speed on that one. And you know, when you look at the numbers for ACU, they have as many home runs to left field as they do to right field, and those even come from the left-handed batters. Those 2 pitches, though, kind of out over the middle of the plate, and ACU able to drive those. Now 2-1 the score. Falcons on top. That brings up Tanner Tweed, the catcher.
That's RBI number 19 for Ladisau, who's now at first base. First pitch to Tanner Tweed. That's high and up for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. You can see the numbers there on Tweed. 302 the average, 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. Tanner making his 16th start, 17th appearance. Tanner didn't play about the first 4 or 5 games of the year. Came on against Michigan State and made his presence known, and he's become almost an everyday guy ever since. 1-0's outside, 2 balls and no strikes. That pitch for Sansing on the mound, Jake Sansing, just pitch number 10 This is batter number 6 of the ACU lineup. He's thrown 10 pitches. He's down in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes.
And I saw the scouting report. It's not like throws a lot of strikes early in the count, but very aggressive. The Wildcats have been. That one gets in there on the black. 2-1 now, the count.
Here's head coach Rick McCarty in his 4th season for the Wildcats. You can see that record, 84-67. Coming off last year's 36-21 record, regular season Southland Conference champions. Now their first year in the WAC under head coach Rick McCarty. Throw over to first, and Lattisaw back in. Well, Rick has done some fantastic things here his 4 years at ACU. He took over a Wildcat program that was 5-25 in conference in 2018. And has turned it around to a Southland Conference champion in year number 3 and competing here in the WAC in year number 4. There's a pitch that misses. 3 balls and 1 strike to Tanner Tweed.
Good take that time by Tweed as that one started on the outer half of the plate and just broke away. You talk about Coach McCarty, and he has a long-term plan here at ACU when he got here. This was never just going to be the stepping stone to the next place, and has really committed this video board as part of that as they go through a lot of other changes around Crutcher Scott Field and the program. That ball hit down the line. That's going to slice foul. That'll even up. That'll take us to a 3-2 count now.
So 9 pitches in the first 5 batters, and now 5 here for Tanner Tweed. Here's Mike Kozlowski in his 11th season as the head of the Falcon program. I tell you what, he's a 1991 graduate of the Air Force Academy, 20 years of active duty. He retired on June 1st, 2011 from the Air Force, and he's hired as the head baseball coach on June the 2nd of 2011. What a great story for Coach Kozlowski. Tweed takes ball 4. He's on at first. Lattisaw up to second.
Well, and he loves baseball and loves being around these players. And you saw actually in that shot of him, he was getting down into position like he was ready to field the ground ball. I mean, he loves this game. He loves the Air Force Academy, and he understands his mission there and preparing these young men. Actually, they've all volunteered to protect us, and he understands that and does an excellent job teaching that through baseball.
So runners at first and second now. Here's Bryson Hill, tonight's starting third baseman for the Wildcats. First pitch is up for a ball, and it's 1-0. Hill on the year typically bats in this 7 spot, and that's where he is tonight, making his 21st start. 304 the average with 4 home runs. Again, batting on that left side.
This past weekend, he went 3 for 9 with a run and 2 RBIs against Lamar.
This pitch is in for a strike.
And after the first 5 hitters are very aggressive, then we have back-to-back hitters that are kind of watching. That fastball there got the top half of the strike zone, evens it up at 1-1.
Hill, the junior out of Fort Worth, transfer from University of Houston. And here's a pitch that'll be on the outside for a strike. 1 ball in, 2 strikes. Air Force with single runs in the first and the second. ACU has responded already with 1 here in the bottom of the second. 2 on with nobody out.
That pitch was called a strike. Hill looked back at home plate umpire and kind of asked the question, that is the closest it could be is to be a strike.
Sansing will come set. Check of the runners, and the fastball misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brett Hammett waits on deck, the sophomore.
That was a good pitch that time, trying to get it to the outside, tried to get him chasing it after he had let the previous ball go through as a strike. 2-2 now the count, no outs here. Bottom of the second inning, 2 runners on, 2-1 our score, Air Force on top.
Lattisaw at second, Tweed at first. Here's a payoff for a 2-2 pitch, fouled out of play. We'll do 2-2 again. Bash Randall led off the inning with an opposite field double into the right field corner. Lattisaw followed with an RBI single in the very next pitch that scored Randall. Tweed then walked. Lattisaw moved to second. Bryson Hill trying to keep the offensive train moving here. The first 3 have reached here in the second, trying to make it 4 for 4. 2-2 the count. Sansing set, a 2-2. Off-speed pitch, swung on and missed. Good pitch. Curveball down on the shoe tops, and Hill swings through it. He's down
for
on
Sansing,
strikes.
this is his first start on the season, 8th appearance on the year. And, this is, I believe, the 3rd doubleheader or midweek 2-game series that Air Force has had. So there's a lot of different pitchers that Air Force is going to send up there tonight. Sansing, again, first start of the year, did well in that first inning. He's got some trouble here in the second inning. We'll see how long Air Force will keep him in. Now that will bring up Brett Hammett, the second baseman for the Wildcats.
Hammett bats on the right side, making his 19th start of the year. There's a throwback to second, and back in is Lattisaw. 237 the average for Brett. He's got 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. Again, this is a Wildcat team that's hit 35 home runs this year, including 10 in a game against Marist earlier this year. Hammett's ready, and the pitch misses for a ball. Play with the 3-man umpiring crew tonight. It's Asa Howard behind home plate, Kyle Parker, Trent Petrie out in the field. And there's Hammett's numbers, the sophomore out of Nixa, Missouri, and a transfer from the University of Nebraska. 1-0 the count here. And the 1-0 swung on and missed.
Big cut that time from Hammett. And I've talked to a couple of players that have transferred here to ACU. Coach Craig Perry, Coach Blaze Lambert do an outstanding job of recruiting here and getting in players that can play and can play well together. And we've seen that over these last couple of years, the success that the Wildcats have had.
Sansing a long look at second. Nobody holds on. Now here's an off-speed pitch ripped down the left field line, but the West Texas wind will push that one foul. Had the distance, just not the right trajectory, and it will go foul. And a long strike will make it 1-2.
Glad they didn't have a camera on us here in the press box as we both leaned forward, trying to get as close as we could to see if that one went foul or not.
Oh, yeah, the jet stream here at Crutcher Scott tonight not favorable with the winds 15 to 20 miles an hour and blowing from right field pole to left field pole. So a ball down that line will hook foul, and that one did. 1-2 now the count. There's the 1-2, swung on and missed. 4-strike-3, back-to-back strikeouts here for Sansing. And Brett Hammett is down on strikes.
Good job. That was a high fastball. Got him looking for it. I think after he hooked that ball foul, that was more of an inside fastball. He elevated it just slightly more, able to get the strikeout there as see that one diving back towards the inside. Hunter Geezer now at the plate for the Wildcats. Geezer coming in on the season with a, 227 average.
First pitch here to Hunter is in for a strike. There's the numbers, 227, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs.
Last weekend, 2 for 9. He did score 3 times. A big one in that Sunday rubber match between Lamar and ACU.
Sansing will check the runners, and there's another fastball in. And it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. So an inning that started out with promise. Give Sansing some credit. 1 runners on first and second, nobody out. And he struck out back-to-back batters here in Hill and Hammett. Now 0-2 here to Geezer. Lattisaw at second, Tweed at first. Here's the 0-2, that stays on the outside.
Trying to get him chasing after that one. After first 2 strikes were both on the outside corner. That one almost into the left-hander batter box. 1-2 now the count. And we've got Lattisaw at second, Tweed at first.
There's the Sansing kick, and curveball swung on and missed. Strikes out the side in order. The Wildcats do get on the board courtesy of a Miller Lattisaw RBI single, but after 2, Falcons a 1-run lead. And back to the ballpark, we take a look around the Western Athletic Conference, the WAC. A few other games of mention tonight. Sam Houston, who will be here in Abilene this weekend, they're down in Houston tonight. One-game series, the Bearcats and the Cougars. Lamar, who played ACU this past weekend, they are hosting Texas Southern here tonight. Two teams in the conference standings right up at the top with ACU. All three teams, ACU, Sam Houston, and Lamar, sit at 7-5 in Western Athletic Conference play. We move to the top of the third. Garrett Egley back on for his third inning of work. And the Falcons a 2-1 lead here as we move to the top of the third.
It'll be 2, 3, 4 in the lineup for the Falcons. Sam Kulasingam, Gabriel Garcia, and Paul Skeins. Kulasingam up first. He reached on an error in the first inning. He hit the high chopper over second base. Was able to score Coven on that first run as an errant throw from Randall kept Kulasingam on base.
Kulasingam was actually at the plate as the top of the second came to an end. As Traden Tamia tried to score on a wild pitch but was thrown out. Great play by Tanner Tweed and Garrett Egley to get the out. So Kulasingam will lead off this top of the third. So he's been at the plate in the top of the first, the top of the second, and now the top of the third. Although the top of the second, no official at bat. He'll hit a high chopper here. Brett Hammett deep in the hole at second. He'll make the play. Easy throw over to Geezer. 4-3 on the putout, and for the first time in 3 innings, the leadoff man retired for the Falcons. And 1 up, 1 down.
I think it's the first time they let the first pitch go by.
Yeah. And we talked about, Bobby, and this is an important week here for ACU. Of course, we just talked about how a 3-way tie in the Southwest Division of the WAC. It's a 5-game week this week with the doubleheader. Garrett Egley on the mound. There's some responsibility to try to get a little deeper in this one. 4, 5, maybe even 6 innings here just to save some stress of what's going to be a lengthy week for a pitching staff this week.
Well, and you even look at, we even talked about this past weekend at Lamar. I mean, what pitchers pitched on Saturday or Sunday that can't pitch now? And then saving some of your better relievers for what could be as you face Sam Houston Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So a lot of juggling. Again, this is the only midweek 2-game series that the Wildcats will play. And for a lot of coaches, midweek games are a little bit more to work that 4th and 5th starter, some of those other bullpen guys, give some position players some opportunity, and maybe rest some others up. But nonetheless, there's a fastball hit right up center field. Garcia rips that one into center field. He was 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first inning. Now with a single up the middle, he'll be at first as we'll get to Mr. Paul Skeins, the designated hitter. He was 1 for 1 all day with a single. He was then forced out to end that first inning.
Well, I tell you what, it's probably an understatement of the night, but Air Force disciplined in so many ways, and I think at the plate we have seen that tonight as well. 6 hits now, the 6th hit of the night for the Falcons. We're talking 6 hits and 12 batters who have been to the plate. Here's Paul Skeins. Skeins 1 for 1 tonight. First pitch here, an off-speed pitch. This one roped down the left field line, and if it stays fair, it is gone, and it is. It's a 2-run home run for Paul Skeins. Found the pitch he liked, and he drove it out of the ballpark. Home run number 3 on the season. RBIs number 6 and 7. The Mountain West Conference Pitcher of the Year gives a salute to his teammates as he comes around the third base line. It's now 4-1 Air Force, and there was a no-doubt shot right down the left field line for Paul Skeins.
Did an excellent job of getting an off-speed pitch out in front of him, and Coach McCarty now heading out to the pitching mound.
As you can see, boy, he golf club swing that one. It was low in the zone, and it was a no-doubter. Ladisaw was actually positioning himself for what was going to be something off the wall, but that was no chance off the wall. Coach Rick McCarty's already made the decision, a pitching change taking place. So we'll see our first Wildcat reliever of the night. So here again, this might be strategy here, Bobby. Is this something where you keep the pitch count low for Garrett to keep him available for the weekend? We shall see. We'll tell you about the new pitcher here in just a moment. This is Wildcat Baseball. New pitcher for the Wildcats here in the top of the third as Coach Rick McCarty has gone to his bullpen. Adam Byrd, the freshman left-hander, comes in making his 9th appearance of the season. 0-1, 5.79 the ERA. 9 1/3 innings of work. The strikeout to walk ratio is a nice one. 16 strikeouts to 6 walks on the year. But Coach Rick McCarty going to the bullpen here early, Bobby, in the top of the third with just 1 out. But he'll go to his freshman left-hander, Adam Byrd.
Yeah, and you talked about it could be keeping the pitch count down. It could be he wasn't able to keep many pitches down. Those were some hard-hit balls. 7 out of 13 batters faced by Egley, and maybe just not his night as far as that goes. Now we'll have Byrd come on. We'll see what he can do, as it'll be Jake Grieving to lead off, or not to lead off, but as we come back to action. Grieving 0 for 1 on the day, had a fly out to left field in his only at-bat.
After the 2-run home run by Paul Skeins down the left field line, makes it 4-1 here, Air Force. First pitch from Byrd is upstairs to Grieving, and it's ball 1, 1-0. Byrd started the year really strong for ACU. His first 4 outings of the year were shutout baseball. But then his last 4 outings have had the best of him. His last outing, March 26th against Tarleton, just a third of an inning, gave up 4 earned runs on 2 hits. Try to get him back in the fray here and back momentum the right direction. He's behind here, 2 balls and no strikes to Grieving. The 0-2 is on the inside. It hits him right in the back. And a free pass here for Grieving, and the inning will continue with another man on here with 1 out.
Jay Thomason now to the plate, the third baseman for the Falcons. He's 0 for 1 on the day, reached on a fielder's choice. Or didn't reach on a fielder's choice, ground out in his only at-bat.
Ball just on the inside. Grieving just turned the back, took it right in the middle of the back, right on the number 7.
2 to the 6. Yep.
So again, Thomason, the third baseman, first pitch is in for a strike.
Good pitch that time from Byrd. Almost came behind Grieving on that one.
Thomason right now, the nickname in the Air Force notes is Thomason. Again, 9 home runs in the last 9 games. Here's a ball hit foul left side. All 9 home runs in the last 9 games, the only 9 of his Air Force career. He leads Air Force in OPS at 980, his slugging percentage at 614. 54 total bases on the year. That leads the Falcons. 17 of 37 in the 9-game stretch with 9 home runs. Here's a pitch from Byrd, off-speed pitch. Lazy chopper, high chopper. Byrd will play it, throw over to first, and Geezer cannot scoop it out of the dirt. A short hop. Geezer just could not get it. It was going to be a bang-bang play. We'll have to see how they score that, because Thomason may have beat that out anyway, but we shall see. Nonetheless, moving up is Grieving to second, and they will call it an error. That's an E1 on the play.
So now with 1 out, it'll be runners at first and second as we get to Eric Joe. 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored back in the 2nd inning.
Byrd will check the runners, and the first pitch, Joe shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's a ball, 1-0. We thought it would be a high-scoring game tonight, just a hitter's ballpark with the way the wind is blowing, and of course a midweek series game, and we thought we'd see some runs on the board. But ACU here needs to keep this thing at least at arm's length so they can get back in this thing. Here's the 1-0. Fastball low, 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, and in that game against TCU last week, only times that TCU scored first and 9th innings, putting up a bunch of zeros through the middle was key to that. Obviously tonight Air Force has put a run on the board in each of the first 3 innings, and with another runner in scoring position now.
Byrd will come set. Joe ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0. That's in for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Shadow starting to creep on the field, first base side, as the sun will set to the west, and the shadows will make their way out of the first base side of the field, out across to left field on the left side. So the left side of the infield and the left fielder will have to battle the sun here for the next 30 to 45 minutes. 2-1 here to Eric Joe. Here's the 2-1. Misses 3 balls and 1 strike.
Really a hitter's ball count now, as Joe Byrd doesn't have, you know, you don't want to go bases loaded, so he's got to come in with a strike. Joe can jump on that if he needs to.
Byrd a long look back at second this time. Now the kick in the 3-1. Hit the opposite way, long run for Colton Eager in right field, but he'll make the catch in fair territory. Tagging up, going to third, and getting there successfully is Grieving. So it'll go as a fly out to right, F9, but does a job and moves Grieving up 90 feet. Runners on the corners with 2 outs.
And trading Tamia now to the plate. 1 for 1 on the day. Trying to score on a pass ball from second base was thrown out to end that second inning. But again, now if you have a ball in the dirt here, that's going to allow Grieving to score from third.
I'll tell you, Air Force, they've only stole 23 bases on the year, but very smart, aggressive on fly balls to the outfield. They've been able to take 90 feet a few times already here in the first 3 innings. And the first pitch from Byrd is down low to Tremilla.
And talking about that, obviously Grieving tags from second base,
Yep.
but also Thomason actually went back to first and acted like he might try to tag from there. I'm not sure they know Eager's arm. Eager can throw it as well as anybody from the outfield.
Swung on and missed. 1 ball in, 1 strike. Tremilla's updated numbers, 189 the average. 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. Air Force has scored in all 3 innings thus far. A single run in the first, 1 in the second. A 2-run home run here by Paul Skeins in the third. There's a ball fouled back to the screen. And we'll do 1-1 again.
Good job by Byrd coming in, throwing strikes, as he did run that count to 3-1 against Joe, but able to get ahead of Tamia now.
Looks for a first strikeout of the night. Again, 16 strikeouts on the year with just 6 walks. So Byrd is a strikeout pitcher.
Now on the season, I actually have the numbers on when they've tried to steal bases. They've tried only twice on a 1-2 count, though Tweed came out, flashed some signals to the infield in case they tried to do possibly a double steal here. They like to steal early in the count, not late.
Tamia ready, Byrd comes set. He'll check the runners. The kick, the 1-2. This one lifted, a line drive, soft liner over to third base. Bryson Hill fighting the sun, makes the catch. And the side is retired. A Paul Skeens 2-run home run has given the Falcons a 4-1 lead. We'll move to the bottom of the third. And we hit the halfway mark of the Western Athletic Conference schedule this coming weekend. And as you can see, it's a 3-horse race right now as Lamar, Sam Houston, and ACU all tied at 7-5. Rio Grande Valley just 1 game behind. And Tarleton and SFA still in the mix, 12 games down, 18 to go in the 30-game conference schedule. ACU playing host to Sam Houston this weekend. For the Falcons in the Mountain West Conference, you'll see they are down at the bottom at 4-7. Competitive baseball there with UNLV, Nevada, Fresno State in third, but the Falcons just took 2 of 3 on the road at Fresno, trying to gain some ground there in the Mountain West Conference. We move to the bottom of the third. It's the top of the lineup here for the Wildcats, down 4-1 on the scoreboard. Dixon, Tatro, and Eager, second time through.
And Sansing, after he struggled the first 3 batters of second inning, 3 consecutive strikeouts, as he got through that with only allowing the 1 run from Bash Randall. Now top of the 3rd, as he faces Mitchell Dixon. Dixon 1 for 1 on the day with a single. Ultimately, he was forced out at 2nd on a grounder.
Dixon has started all 28 games this year, and he's led off. Been the #1 batter in all 28. So sky this one out of play. Mitchell's been just a model of consistency all season long. He starts at catcher. Tonight he's DH. He's even played at second base a little bit this season, but he's been in the lineup for Rick McCarty pretty much 2 consecutive years, dating back to last year's Southland Conference Championship season. Have to protect here 2-2. That's high and tight. Full count.
And I think playing him DH and second base is more to save his legs. Obviously one of the better hitters, had an outstanding season last year, has another one going this year. But it takes a lot out of your legs when you're playing catcher.
And here's the payoff pitch. That's upstairs from Sansing. And for the 3rd time in 3 innings, the Wildcats have the leadoff man on. Dixon at first.
Just the 2nd walk of the night for Sansing, as Grayson Tatro comes to the plate. Tatro 0 for 1. He did reach on a fielder's choice, then was picked off first by Sansing.
As you can see Dixon there. That's the mustache game. That's the Wildcat winner in the mustache category.
Yes.
He's been sporting that thing for a while.
And he has the curly mullet too.
Yeah, it's not Raleigh Fingers quality yet, but it's getting pretty close. So here's the first pitch, swung on and missed by Tatro. Did you ever sport one of those?
No.
No?
I did have a mullet in middle school. I'm glad there were no cameras back then. No pictures of that. Though I've had friends try to find them.
Tatro 7 home runs, 27 RBIs on the year. He's also started now all 28 games here for the Wildcats. Here's a throw over. Yeah, we were talking about the WAC standings a minute ago. It's a 30-game WAC schedule. Of course, the WAC broken into 2 divisions this year. A Southwest Division, which is the 6 Texas schools, and the West Division, which is the 7 non-Texas schools. But everybody playing 30 games. There's another throw over. In the Southwest Division, everybody plays each other twice, a home and road 3-game series. It's an unbalanced schedule in the West. So the standings are a little bit, I hate to say skewed, that's not the right word, but just the way that the schedule sets up between West and Southwest is a little bit different. Here's a ball upstairs. Nice stop behind the plate. Reyes popping out of his stance. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dixon 5 of 6 on stolen base attempts this year. Got to think with Tatro up at the bat with no outs, you're not going to try to push the action a little too much here. And talking about that, that's a lot of games to play in conference. It's very rare that you play a home and away series within conference play.
And just breaking the divisions, there's 7 teams in the WAC that ACU won't even see. 4 of those 7 will be at the conference tournament in Mesa, Arizona in late May, fighting for the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. What makes it a little unique when you'll be fighting for that against a team that you haven't played yet. There's a ball on the outside for a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And I think the way once the WAC kind of, I believe UTA is coming in next year, once it's kind of all evened out, they'll play within their own division, but then they'll also, they'll travel once to another WAC school out in the West Division, and then one of those schools will come to you as well. So you won't really have the home and away series anymore.
There's a 1-2 to Tatro. He swings through it and misses for strike 3. That is 4 consecutive outs recorded by Sansing, all courtesy of the strikeout. Tatro's 0 for 2 tonight. That's a good looking pitch here for Sansing.
Good off-speed pitch.
Yep.
Really got him out in front of that, chasing after it. Dixon at first, 1 out. As Colton Eager comes to the plate. Eager 3 unassisted in his only at-bat tonight, 0 for 1. He's a player that has really been hitting the ball well, really just kind of squaring up the baseball today during batting practice. I don't think he missed a single one.
And he leads the WAC in doubles with 12 on the year. Still lift this one into left field fairly deep. The wind will push it just shy of the warning track. Underneath it is Garcia, and he'll make the catch for out number 2.
And that'll get us to Bash Randall, the shortstop. 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored today for the Wildcats.
Pass will step in on that right side. Dixon gets instructions, or a little playful conversation there at first base. Yeah, Randall led off the second. First pitch of the second, and a line shot double into the right field corner. And the very next pitch scored on a Miller Ladisaw RBI single. Sansing set in the righty-righty matchup. And a fastball down the pipe for a strike. Air Force with a single run in the first, a single run in the second. ACU responded with one in the bottom of the second, Air Force 2 in the top of the third. Randall, the sophomore, 284 the current average. Dixon a small lead over at first, not a huge lead. Kulasingam holds him on. There's another pitch down the middle for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
And Randall, as aggressive he was in the opening, or his first at bat, letting 2 back-to-back, kind of right where you want him at. Let those go by now behind in the count, 0-2. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning.
Here we go, Bash. Here we go.
Sansing set. And a throw over. Dixon not going anywhere with the 0-2 count. Again, this is a 2-game series. Tomorrow, the first pitch, a 3:05 Central Time.
It'll be on the WAC network.
Sansing the 0-2. This down the dirt. Nice stop behind the plate by Reyes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Air Force stays in the WAC this weekend. A non-conference series for them as they're back home in Colorado Springs. They'll play host to Cal Baptist for 3. Yeah, 26 games. This game number 26 for Air Force. They've only played 5 at home. But finally a weekend to enjoy at the Springs. Here's a ground ball, hits a third. Nice easy play by Thomason. He'll go the long way across in time, 5-3 on the putout, and the side is retired. So the Wildcats go quietly in the third. 3 innings down, Air Force hangs on to a 4-1 lead. Special night at the ballpark tonight. Crutcher Scott in Abilene, Texas, as the Air Force Academy has made their way to Abilene. Of course, Abilene, the home of Dias Air Force Base. This is the first meeting tonight, and it's been a special night tonight. Had a flyover tonight from B-1 Lancer here out of Dias Air Force Base. Colonel Kevin Kippy threw out the first pitch tonight, and also saw 9 youngsters who were sworn into the Air Force Academy prior to the first pitch tonight who have made the sacrifice to join the Air Force Academy. We say a special thanks to all of those who serve our great country, not only the Air Force, but all the branches of our United States military to help protect our freedom. We share our appreciation to all of you. Top of the 4th, here at Crutcher Scott. You can see there on the new video board and scoreboard, Falcons a 4-1 lead.
9-1-2 in the lineup. Reyes at the plate. Reyes 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Byrd evens that count at 1 ball, 1 strike with that high fastball.
Byrd came in relief with 1 out in the top of the third and was able to close the door in that top of the third inning. He's back in here for the 4th. There's a good looking pitch down the middle. We close the line on Garrett Egley, the starter tonight. 2 1/3 innings of work for Garrett tonight. 4 runs, 3 of those were earned on 7 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Here's a ground ball. Chopper to Randall. He'll play it neck high, throw over in plenty of time. 1 up, 1 down, 6-3 on the putout. Yeah, again for Egley tonight, 2 1/3 innings of work, 4 runs, 3 of those were earned, 7 hits, 37 total pitches. Gave up the 2-run home run in the 3rd to Paul Skeins, and that was his last pitch of the night. And I think with just 37 pitches, Garrett should be available for some relief work this weekend.
Blake Coven now to the plate for the Falcons. 1 for 2 on the day with a double, run scored, and an RBI.
First pitch here from Byrd in the lefty-lefty matchup in for strike. That first pitch of the night, Coven hit ball in the right center field gap for a double and came around to score. An off-speed pitch. It misses. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That just missed on the inside. That was a pretty good pitch. Again, for a left-hander, that ball's coming in. It's a curveball, and it actually starts right at you. And not able to get it far enough inside. Well, outside. 3-1 now the count. Or sorry, 1-1. Byrd setting again.
There's the kick. Man, that's a good-looking pitch. Yep, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Byrd on the year. This is 9th appearance of the year, so Coach McCarty feels comfortable in putting him out on the mound. His best outing this year, a 2-inning performance against Marist. No runs, no hits. Ball fouled back to the screen. And we'll do 2-2 again here to Blake Coven. Coven, the 5'9", 170-pound junior. He's a Texas boy at a Flower Mound, which is in the DFW Metroplex, just next to DFW Airport. Marcus High School. There's an off-speed pitch, stays on the inside, and it hits him on the arm. Coven will make his way down to first base.
Flower Mound, the home of Mitchell Dixon also for the Wildcats. And Coven, that's the one thing with these, trying to throw an inside curveball, and if it doesn't break quite enough, Coven didn't really have to move at all, just kind of turned his shoulder and it hits him on the back of the arm. Didn't dive into it or anything like that. So now to be Sam Kulasingam, who is 0 for 2 on the day, did reach on an error.
Ground ball up the middle, could be 2. Randall, he's got it. He'll throw to second. Hammett, the turn to Geezer in time. 6-4-3, the double play. 31st double play of the year for the Wildcats. And the side is retired. First 0 for the Falcons. We'll move to the bottom of the 4th, 4-1. Double play number 31 on the year by the ACU defense. A thing of beauty. Randall to his right, little underhand toss to Hammett. Over to first to Geezer, 6-4-3 on the putout. Bobby, the first 0 on the scoreboard for the ACU defense tonight, and a thing of beauty there. And let's see if the home team bats can get going here in the bottom of the 4th.
It'll be Miller Ladisaw leading off for the Wildcats. He was 1 for 1 with a single and an RBI back in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Tanner Tweed and Bryson Hill.
I tell you, the job by Jake Sansing making his first start of the year has been a thing of impressive thus far. 44 pitches for Sansing through 3 innings of work. Just 1 earned run on 3 hits, 4 strikeouts for Sansing as well. Here's a ball down low.
He's gone fastball inside, then curveball in the dirt. I think he'll probably come back fastball, and I've got to think that Ladisaw will be sitting on this one.
Here is the 2-0. Lattisaw chopper. Stay in fair territory. Kulasingham makes it cleanly. He'll underhand toss to Sansing covering the bag. 3-1 on the putout. And first time in 4 innings that the leadoff man's been retired for the Wildcats. 1 up, 1 down here in the 4th.
Tanner Tweed now to the plate for the Wildcats. 0 for 0 on the day. He had a walk in the 2nd inning and then was stranded there at first base.
Looking at Sansing's numbers, Sansing went 3 innings against UNLV on March the 20th. That is the longest outing of the year. So this now a new season high as far as longest outing of the year, 3 1/3.
And if you're Coach Kozlowski, this is exactly what you wanted out of a Tuesday night starter, understanding that you have another ball game Wednesday afternoon. These are good innings.
Pitch to Tweed in the, pitch to Tweed in the zone for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tanner. Tanner, he and Mitchell Dixon share that time behind home plate. As you mentioned earlier, Dixon either DHs or plays some second base, but in the lineup every night. Tweed fills in behind home plate when Mitchell is either DHing or out in the field.
2-1 the count.
Here's a pitch. That's in for a strike, 2-2. Tweed out of Red Bluff, California. Sac City Community College. There are 10 different states represented on the ACU roster this year. And throw in 2 different countries. Sanoon Bach from Republic of Korea, Tommy Cruz from Puerto Rico. As Tweed will foul that one off. You can see a good look there at the Wildcats. We're in the pinstripes tonight, the black jersey tops. It says Dias across the front tonight in honor of Dias Air Force Base. 2-2 the count here to Tanner Tweed. Sansing the 2-2. Boy, just missed. Good looking pitch. A little low. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Right down by Tweed holding up on that one. And in this situation, he seems to be throwing more away from Tweed. He might want to try to drive one to the opposite field.
Sansing into the wind and the payoff. This one put into play right at the third baseman, Thomason. He'll field it cleanly on the turf. Tough throw. It hops in, skips in, but Kulasingham on his back foot picks it with the glove, and 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th.
That's going to bring us to the third baseman, Bryson Hill, 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout in that 2nd inning. Hill on the season started to come on as of late, 304. Does have 4 home runs and 13 RBIs.
Hill's 22nd start of the year. He's in on that left side, Sansing into the wind. This one lifted deep into right field. Will the wind hold it in? It'll go foul. It'll push it foul. Boy, that ball looked good off the bat, but the wind pushed it foul, or just the angle off the bat. A little bit foul. I'll tell you, off the bat, I thought that had a chance to get out of here.
Now, and the wind seems to have died down a little bit since early this afternoon when it was really getting it. The flag's still waving, but not near as hard. Swing and a miss on that one.
Yeah, off-speed pitch. It's 0-2. Yeah, we started the night winds at 20 to 25 miles an hour. Probably still in the 15 to 20. And blowing out to left field. Sansing into the wind. Looks for a 1-2-3 inning. That's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's kind of gone. The other times he's gone 0-2 on a hitter. He's gone outside the 3rd pitch and then usually comes back with a fastball on the inside.
There's the 1-2.
Reyes set up outside. It was a fastball. Evens the count up at 2-2.
Brett Hammett waits on deck if the inning can continue. There's this pitch. This one roped into center field, but right at Blake Coven, the center fielder. A few steps to his left, a few steps in, he'll make the catch. Side retired in order. We'll move to the top of the 5th. Air Force hanging on to that 4-1 lead. 4-1 Air Force. We move to the top of the 5th inning. It's turned into a pretty nice pitcher's duel here as Adam Byrd took over in relief for the Wildcats in the top of the 3rd, and he put up the first 0 for the pitching staff in that top of the 4th, and he's back on for another inning of relief here. The Falcons, though, hanging on to that 4-1 lead. 3rd time through the lineup, 3-4-5, Garcia, Skeins, and Grieving.
Gabe Garcia now to the plate. 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a run scored.
It's the heart of the lineup that chased Garrett Egley out of the game in the top of the 3rd. First pitch here to Garcia in for a strike. Garcia had a big 3-run home run against Fresno on Saturday. A 3-for-4 night, but that was the game that the Falcons lost to the Bulldogs this weekend. They won 2 of 3 against Fresno. First time they had won the series against the Bulldogs. Swings here. It's quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
Garcia, the only Falcon against Fresno that had a hit in all 3 games last weekend. We talk about Fresno. In 2 weeks, that's where Abilene Christian will be at.
There's the 0-2 upstairs. Good road trip out to the west coast. All these teams in the WAC out in that area, but the only trip that direction is non-conference with Fresno State. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 fastball. That's in the zone for strike 3. Good looking pitch for Byrd. 1 up, 1 down.
That's
Adams.
Bird's first strikeout of the day.
Yep, 17th on the year.
That'll bring us to Paul Skeins. Skeins 2 for 2 on the day with 2 RBIs and a run scored.
Well, that's just straight fastball down the middle. I'm not sure what Garcia was looking for there in that count, but that's fastball down the pipe and froze Garcia for the strikeout. And here's Paul Skeins, the big hit of the night, a 2-run home run in that 3rd inning. And now Byrd has been all the way through the lineup. Skeins, the last batter that Egley faced.
I was on the field during batting practice. He's as big as he looked. That is a large young man. And I want to say at 6'6", he's a little too tall to fit in a jet. Not sure what job he will go after in the Air Force.
There's a ball swung on and missed. Good looking pitch. That home run is 3rd of the year. RBI is 6 and 7.
He will play catcher on the weekends.
Yep.
He pitches on Friday nights last year, the closer for the Falcons. Can get it up there, 96, 98.
Yeah, he's thrown 31 innings this year as well. Byrd set. Ahead in the count, the 0-2. This one put into play right side, opposite field. Good 0-2 hitting into right field for a base hit. Skeins a multi-hit game now. As he's now 3 for 3 on the evening. Already had the multiple hit. Now just make it 3.
That'll bring us to Jake Grieving, the right fielder for the Falcons. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He did reach on a hit by a pitch. And his last at-bat stranded at 3rd.
I like the hitting going the opposite way. Just protect the plate. The ACU defense had it shaded a bit to that left side, and he goes the opposite way and hits it between 1st and 2nd into right field.
And the pitch was inside on him, so it was designed for him to pull. I think ACU had it played well. It's just an excellent job of hitting, keeping your hands inside the ball, driving it to the opposite field.
0-1 here to Grieving. Byrd set. Kicking the 0-1, another fastball in for a strike. ACU turned a double play in the top of the 4th, a 6-4-3. Their 31st of the year. They lead the WAC in fielding percentage at .981, but have committed 2 errors tonight. Very uncharacteristic of the Wildcats. Here's now the 0-2, swung on and missed. Byrd getting into a groove. He's got 2 strikeouts in the inning. Strikeout number 18 on the season. And 2 outs here in the 5th.
Good job of pitching that time to Grieving, able to get him to chase that one. Got it by him before he even could start that swing. Now will bring us to Jay Thomason, the 3rd baseman. He is 0 for 2 on the day, reached on a fielder's choice. Or actually, he was the last out of an inning and then reached on an error.
First pitch, off-speed pitch, high and tight.
At last at bat, he hit a chopper that Byrd came off the mound and threw the ball a little too low over to Geezer at first.
Byrd set. long look over at first, and now
Yep.
time called at the plate. Thomason will be granted that. Yeah, Thomason again, 9 home runs in his last 9 games. Majority of that came in the first 4 games. He had 3 2-run games in a 4-game stretch. 2 of those against UNLV, and then 1 against New Mexico at mid to late March. Byrd set again. Curveball, this one hit in the right center field gap. Will be trouble, and it's down. Skeins with good speed going second to third. He will be held at third base. It's a 2-out double for Thomason. Nice job by the outfield and Tatro to get that back in a hurry. I thought off the bat that Skeins might have a chance to score from first with 2 outs, as Thomason waited on the off-speed pitch and drove it in the right center field gap. But a good job of cutting that off again by Tatro before it gets to the wall, and that'll hold Skeins at third. 2 in scoring position with 2 outs, and leave a job up to Eric Joe.
Eric Joe is 1 for 2 on the day, had a single and a run scored, and then he flew out to right field in his last at bat. Now everybody calls time. Everybody will reset.
There's no action in the ACU bullpen thus far. Bird's been doing the job thus far. Let's see if he can get out of some trouble here. Big point in the game. We're halfway through, top of the 5th. First pitch here to Joe, high and tight for a ball. This becomes one of the bigger at-bats that we've seen tonight. Again, with Air Force, the offense has been consistent all night long tonight for the Falcons.
There's now a couple of players hop up in that bullpen.
Here's a pitch in for a strike. 1 ball in, 1 strike.
Long breaking ball that time. Evens it up at 1 ball, 1 strike.
This will be pitch number 40 for Byrd tonight. The 1-1 to Joe. Fastball down low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Air Force scored first in the first, a single run in the first, a single run in the second. ACU responded in the bottom of the second. Air Force then 2 more in the third on the Paul Skeins 2-run home run. Skeins is now at third. Right behind him is Thomason at second. 2-1 the count here to Joe. Here's the 2-1. This is inside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
He does have first base open, but you really don't want to go to that bases loaded set with Tamia on deck. Tamia had a single, then also lined out to the third baseman, so he's hit 2 balls hard.
Here's the 3-1. This one hit right back up the middle, off of Bird's leg, ricochets to second base. All Hammett can do is pick it up and eat it. It will go as an unconventional RBI single on an infield hit. A ball hit right back up the middle that hits Byrd off the leg and ricochets to second base. You'll see the replay here. Boy, no chance that he had to get out of the way of that one. I don't know if ACU could have made a play on that up the middle anyway. It might have been all the better that it hit off his leg and stayed in the infield. Nonetheless, it's an RBI single. Air Force a 5-1 lead, and here comes Coach Rick McCarty out of the dugout. We might have our second pitching change here for the Wildcats tonight.
And for the Wildcats, it's a special game as we have people from Dias Air Force Base here to support the Air Force Falcons. And we had a special flyover before the ball game, and first pitch thrown out by Colonel Kevin Kippy. And a big night. And again, for ACU, what they want to do is create a team with Dias Air Force Base, let them know they've got a home in ACU. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have a new pitcher and all of their numbers. You're listening to WAC Network.
Call of the bullpen for Rick McCarty and the Wildcats. We'll see Carter Sales, the junior right-handed pitcher, come out of the bullpen. Carter, again, the third Wildcat pitcher tonight. The junior out of Brentwood, Tennessee, and transferred from Arkansas. 2-1 on the year, making his 9th appearance. 1.72 is the ERA, and opponent batting average of just .213. 12 strikeouts, 4 walks. He'll inherit 2 runners on the base pass, runners on the corners. So Carter Sales walking into a jam, trying to get the Wildcats out of it here in the top of the 5th. So
you watch him during this warm-up. Good fastball, curveball kind of with an 11-5 split on it, and does a good job changing up speeds. He's got a fastball that can get in on some hitters pretty quickly.
And he will inherit 2 runners on the base pass as Jay Thomason is at third base now. And at first base is Eric Joe. Joe, an RBI single just prior to the pitching change. A ball hit right back up the middle off of the foot of Adam Byrd, ricocheted to second base. Brett Hammett, no chance to make a play. And Air Force has now scored in 4 of the 5 innings, have a 5-1 lead. The big thing is the crooked numbers have stayed away. A lot of single scratches, but 5-1 our score, and a job to do here for Carter Sales on the mound. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. And here's Trayden Tamia at the plate.
Tamia 1 for 2 on the day with a single, and he lined out in his last at-bat.
Sales' first pitch to Tamia swung on and missed. The ball down in the zone, and Tamia swung through it.
Tamia didn't catch up to that one. Sales did an excellent job throwing that fastball, keeping it down.
Sales did just pitch on Sunday against Lamar, an inning and 2/3 of relief. No runs, 3 hits in that time. Here's a ball grounded foul. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. So quick turnaround here for Carter.
After fouling that one off towards third, again, I expect he'll come back with something off speed.
Sales actually had the win on Sunday against Lamar. An 11-8 Wildcat win in Beaumont. 1 pitch away from getting out of the top of the 5th. Time called here at the plate. Tamia will step out.
Tweed and Sales really couldn't get on track. I think Tweed sent 9 different signals out to the pitcher. He rolls through it, got one ready.
There's the 0-2. That one lifted into center field. Coming in is Tatro, right on the logo of the ACU out in shallow center field. He'll make the catch, and the side is retired. Air Force gets 1 more on the board. 1 run in the inning on 3 hits. Halfway through the contest tonight in Abilene. Air Force a 5-1 lead. And back to Crutcher Scott as the sun begins to set here. We'll give you a look at the D1Baseball.com top 10 in the country this week. A little bit of Big 12 flavor in there. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and Texas, but on top, the Volunteers of Tennessee and their SEC compadres in the Arkansas Razorbacks. And look at the Texas State Bobcats down in place number 10, having themselves a fantastic year. Your top 10, D1Baseball.com. College baseball. Of course, the Wildcats will be in Lubbock in just a few weeks. Their midweek game on April 26th in Lubbock, but then make plans here in Abilene. The Red Raiders will make the return trip the next Tuesday, May the 3rd. So some good midweek baseball games this year for ACU. Here's first pitch swinging and hitting one into center field.
Hammett all over that one.
Brett Hammett has that one down, and the Wildcats, I believe, is that all 5 innings, Bobby, that the Wildcats have had the leadoff man on the base path?
No, last inning they
Miller
1, 2, 3.
Ladisol. That's right.
Went to first.
That's right. 1, 2, 3 inning in the fourth. Fourth time in 5 innings that ACU's had the leadoff man on.
Hammett 1 for 2 now. With that single, that's going to bring us to Hunter Geezer. Geezer just 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout.
Jake Sansing still on the mound here for the Falcons. His longest outing of the year as he works into the 5th inning. First pitch here outside. 60 pitches thus far for Sansing. Just the 1 earned run on 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. Exactly what Coach Kozlowski needed this week. 2-game midweek and then 3-game series, a 5-game week for the Falcons. Great starting pitching on the opener on Tuesday. Here's a ball skied into shallow right field. And coming in is Grieving, calling off the infield. He'll make the catch. And
that'll send us to the top of the order. Mitchell Dixon. Dixon 1 for 1 on the day. Reached on a single and a walk.
And again, as you can see, the best mustache, at least in my opinion, maybe in the whole Western Athletic Conference, maybe the only mustache in the Western Athletic Conference. It's a thing of beauty.
Came into tonight's ball game hitting .290 on the season with 13 RBIs.
There's a runner on the move, and Hammett a head first slide, and he is out at second base. Disagrees with the call, and will give the second base umpire a look. A heck of a throw by Aaron Reyes, the catcher. So we'll get another look at it. Reyes
going high to get this one.
Yep, comes off the bag, able to stab back, and boy, bang, bang play. Tamia makes the tag, and 2 outs in the inning as Hammett is retired. Bases are empty quickly with 2 outs. Swing and a miss from Dixon.
Evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
ACU on the year at 40 stolen bases in 51 attempts. Thrown out there, just shy of 80%. Here's a swing and a miss from Dixon. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Way out in front of that one. Really anticipating a fastball that time. Now it'll be a 1-2 count. As he steps back in.
Sansing into the line, fastball on the outside.
Dixon just 7 strikeouts on the season. That's why you have him at the top of the order. Put the ball in play, make the defense get you out.
Mitchell has 6 multi-hit games this year, trying to get his 7th. Pitch down low. 2 balls and 2, or check that, full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And a lot of catchers really have a good understanding of what the strike zone is because they see it so often from behind the plate. And he's got 18 walks on this season, again, just 7 strikeouts.
Here's a payoff pitch. This one lifted right side of the infield. Kulasingham calls everybody off. He'll make the catch. And the side is retired. A leadoff single, eliminated off the base pass on a caught stealing. And the side is retired. We'll move to the 6th. Air Force a 5-1 lead. And getting to the back half of tonight's contest, Air Force a 5-1 lead. The lights have come on here as you look inside the home dugout of the Wildcats on just a beautiful Tuesday night for baseball tonight. Glad you're with us tonight on the WAC Sports Network. Andy Penny alongside Bobby Thompson, your Whack Baseball on ESPN. Carter.
As we head to the top of the 6th for Air Force, it'll be 9-1-2 in the lineup. Aaron Reyes, Blake Coven, and Sam Kuliasingam.
You see Carter Sales back on the mound. He came in relief in that top of the 5th inning. He'll start this top of the 6th.
Reyes 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a ground out.
Again, Air Force has scored in 4 of their 5 innings. Single runs in 3 of those and 2 in the 3rd inning. First pitch swing here, fouling out of play, again, is Aaron Reyes. We can close the book now on Adam Byrd, the 2nd Wildcat pitcher tonight. 2 1/3 innings of work. He threw 44 pitches, 1 earned run on 3 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks. Did hit a batter in his time, and right on cue, perfect segue. Carter Sales says, I can do that too, and he does. And the leadoff man is on, is Aaron Reyes down at first base.
Now we head to the top of the order. Blake Coven now to the plate. Coven 1 for 3 on the day with, 1 for 2 on the day. Was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. Has a double and a run scored and an RBI.
Sales will work out of the stretch. Kick first pitch to Coven upstairs. Sales' longest outing of the year came against Maris back on March the 4th. Went 4 innings that night. He's also gone 3 2/3 against Stephen F. Austin. Both of those games scoreless appearances. He's only given up 3 earned runs on the season. That ball misses, 2 balls in, no strikes. Season high strikeouts was 5 against Michigan State. Now here comes Coach Rick McCarty again, another visit. There is action in the ACU bullpen. Carter again just pitched on Sunday. He did his job in the 5th and he stopped the bleeding. We'll see how long the leash is here for Coach Rick McCarty on, again, a weekend guy in Carter Sales, no doubt, who can come in and get big outs. And Coach Rick McCarty is going to go ahead and make the change here. And again, we talked about this, Bobby, with a 5-game week. You have to make Sunday decisions on Tuesday night, and I think Rick McCarty just made one. We'll tell you about the new Wildcat pitcher after the timeout. Air Force a 5-1 lead. And back to the ballpark, the 4th Wildcat pitcher of the night. We'll see the redshirt junior, the right-hander, Zach Smith, the hometown boy out of here in Abilene, Texas. Wiley High School, no record on the year, makes his 5th appearance. 3.86 is the record for Zach. 4 2/3 innings of work, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. He'll inherit a runner at first base. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Zach Smith, good to see him back on the mound and getting some work here. This, again, his 5th appearance. They've all been in relief, but he's come in and done a job. He's just given up 2 earned runs in the 4 2/3 innings of work in the 3.86 ERA. And again, Bobby, I think I go back to Carter Sales. It was a quick appearance as he came in the top of the 5th, and he leaves here after 1 batter in the top of the 6th. But Coach Rick McCarty's having to make decisions based on a 5-game week and what's ahead, and that's a huge conference series against Sam Houston this weekend. And of course, Carter just pitched on Sunday too.
And it's probably a day for a bullpen, and we might, you know, it might have been tomorrow, Wednesday, but throw him tonight, then you don't have to throw him tomorrow. You hold him off until Friday, Saturday against Sam Houston when it's much, much more important. But 5-1, as it'll be Blake Coven at the plate, Aaron Reyes at first base as he got there as he was hit by a pitch. Coven on the day 1 for 2. It's a double, a run scored, and an RBI.
And already a 3-0 count as sails through the first 2 pitches. So here's a 3-0 down in the dirt, and quickly it's ball 4. So Reyes makes his way to second. There's Coven at first. 2 on, nobody out for Zach Smith. And here comes Sam Kozlowski, yep,
who is 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a run scored. Also a strikeout victim twice.
Neat story about Zach. Zach faced an injury in 2021 and missed that season. Appeared in 13 games in 2019. Appeared in 36 games his freshman year in 2018. Most interesting story maybe about Zach is he recorded the final out of 2020 prior to the COVID season being halted. That last game down in Austin against the University of Texas, he pitched the bottom of the 8th and retired the side in the bottom of the 8th, and he recorded the final out of the 2020 season. Who would have known that at the time down in Austin? Let's not do that again.
No.
How's that sound?
That was, I kept saying, oh, we'll be back next month. We'll be back in 3 weeks, and it never came back.
1 ball, 1 strike here to Kozlowski with runners on first and second. Curveball, and catches the top part of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, it's good to see Zach back on the mound. He had a tough year last year, the redshirt season, injury of the pitching arm. In that junior year, he just got an inning and 2/3 of work. There's a pitch on the outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And one thing, when you're coming back from an injury, you don't want to rush it back. The player wants to get back. He wants to get back to playing in 36 games. That's just really hard to do when you come off of that injury. So there's probably a pitch count, an inning count, and he might feel really good, that one high. But the coaches and the trainers and stuff are going to keep him on a certain number, and it might increase by the end of the season. But at this point, they probably got him on the leash, so to speak, as far as throwing the baseball.
Payoff pitch coming here to Kozlowski. The 3-2 fastball hit right back up the middle. Randall had it fielded perfectly, played perfectly, and he missed it. It'll go into shallow left field, and a run will score. Coming around third and scoring on the play is Aaron Reyes. E6 on the play, and Randall had it played perfectly right back up the middle. Great replay of it. Skips over the second base bag and then right through the 5-hole, and everybody is safe. Reyes scores. Coven moves up to second. Kozlowski now at first on the E6. The 3rd error of the night for the Wildcats.
Kozlowski reached twice on errors in this ball game. Unfortunately, both by Randall. One back in the 1st inning and now here in the 6th. That's going to bring up Gabriel Garcia.
And there's first pitch lifted into center field fairly deep. Going back just shy of the warning track is Tatro. He'll make the catch. Tagging up and moving second to third is Coven. So now runners on the corners with the first out of the inning. Air Force now the 6-1 lead.
Paul Skeins now to the plate, 3 for 3 on the day with a pair of singles, a home run, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored.
Well, again, ACU came in leading the WAC in fielding percentage, 981. And the 3 errors, I can only imagine, trying to do a little research here, has to be a season high as a team with the 3 errors tonight. Again, Skeins, the big home run in the 3rd inning, a 2-run home run, the last batter that the starter Garrett Egley faced. First pitch here, swung on and missed.
Looking first pitch fastball that time, out in front of that one.
And the 3 errors is, yes, a season high for the Wildcats. A few games they've had multiple errors, but not 3. So now season high as we're here in the top of the 6th. Smith set, and this pitch, this one lifted into right field. Eagers underneath it, should be deep enough, and we'll see if Coven tries to tag. He will. The catch is made. Eagers throw home, not cut off. A slide, and he is in there safe. Head first slide by Coven, a bang-bang play. Tweed made the catch about head high and then made the tag on a diving Coven. We'll see it again. Coven reads it well, good speed down the line, and boy, just able to get the hand in. And he is safe.
Batter's box came up.
Yeah, batter's box turf popped up there as well. But it'll go as a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Skeins, his third RBI of the night.
That brings us to Jake Grieving, the right fielder. Grieving 0 for 2 on the day. Did reach when he was hit by a pitch. Swings at this one, drives it out to left field.
Fairly deep, giving chase is Ladisaw. It's over his head and off the wall. And now rounding and coming in to score here is Kozlowski. It's a 2-out RBI double, and Air Force blowing this one open now with a 3 spot in the 6th. And it's 8-1, the visiting team, the Falcons. It's a ball just driven, a fastball down low in the zone. Grieving goes and gets it. Ladisaw thought it was gone. It plays off the top of the wall. A long run for Miller to run it back down and get it back into the infield. Of course, on the move with 2 outs in the inning and coming around to scores, Kozlowski.
So 3 on the board here in the top of the 6th inning. That brings us to Jay Thomason, third baseman. He is 1 for 3 on the day.
First pitch ripped into right field and off the wall. That's down for a hit. Rounding third and coming in to score as the hit parade continues. This time it is Grieving, and it's a 2-out RBI single. Now 9-1 Air Force. Of course, all of this will be unearned because Wildcats should be out of the inning. Is that correct? With the error.
Should be, and that'll bring up Eric Joe.
Yep.
2 for 3 on the day with a run and an RBI.
That's tough. The extra out that the Wildcats give here in the inning is coming back. A lot of 2-out hits here for the Wildcats. Time is called here.
A little unlucky there as he's gotten some pitches that have, that one carries out to right field, the double by Grieving, and able to get to that one. Obviously the error that was up the middle, and it's just, you can't make those mistakes against good ball clubs. And what we've seen tonight out of Air Force, very disciplined. We talked about that. They're not chasing a lot of balls. They're squaring up balls. And very good approach at the plate. So far, they've got 12 hits on the night, 9 runs. ACU, 1 run, 4 hits, and the big 3 errors.
Yeah, even with the hits that they have tonight, the 12 hits, 9 runs, only 4 of the 9 are earned tonight. Extra outs given courtesy of the Wildcat defense tonight. Tanner Tweed, a long visit with Zach Smith. Maybe a delay to continue to let the bullpen warm. Zach, the 4th pitcher tonight for ACU.
So now the shortstop, Eric Joe, to the plate, and here comes Coach McCarty.
That was a visit to allow the bullpen to get loose, and now Rick McCarty will make the slow walk and make the pitching change. We'll see our 5th Wildcat pitcher of the night, assuming he makes the change. Again, a long visit. I think Coach McCarty might allow the. Nope, he's going to stay with Zach.
That's probably another walk to give some more pitches down in the pen.
Yeah. 4 runs in the inning for the Falcons.
Started with a hit by pitch, followed by a walk, then an error. Fly out, double, single. Just 2 hits in this inning, scoring 4 runs.
Here's the first pitch down low. Good stop. Trading Tamia is in. Nice stop by Tweed behind the plate. And this is the first of a 2-game midweek series. Game 2 tomorrow, a 3:05 Central Time. First pitch. There's a fastball low as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Air Force with 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, scoreless in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Have blown it open here in the 6th with 4 in the 6th. 2-0 in for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Unfortunately for ACU, just the lone run in the second inning. I've had some runners on. We've had some thrown out base runners. We've had some hard hit, and he hits Joe. Got him on the hand. So that is,
Joe will make his way down to second.
But just some hard hit balls that have gone right to people. That happens some nights, and for ACU, that's part of tonight. Caught off his back forearm. That'll bring up Traden Tamia, but before that, Coach McCarty will go out and will make a change this time.
Go ahead and have the pitching change. The night has come to an end for Zach Smith. Fifth pitcher on the way to the mound. We'll tell you about the new Wildcat pitcher. Air Force in control tonight, 9-1, top of the sixth, 2 outs. Fifth pitcher of the night tonight for ACU, top of the sixth with 2 outs. We introduce you to Sam Grace, tonight's junior right-handed pitcher. Makes his 5th appearance of the year. No record on the year, 6.75 the ERA for Grace. 4 innings of work, 3 runs, all earned on 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, an opponent batting average of .313. He'll inherit 2 Air Force runners on the base pass, and now the Falcons a 9-1 lead on the night. Here with 4 runs here in this top of the 6th.
Again, for ACU, it hasn't always been, walks. There's been several hit by pitch tonight. Again, 3 errors, and 3 errors. You've basically given a 10th inning of batting to the opposition when you do that. And now Grace comes on, and this is really what Coach McCarty didn't want to do. He wanted more of that 3-pitcher complete game like he had last week at TCU. Obviously, that did not happen, and they're going to try to make the best of this. But beyond the pitching side, haven't had the hitting that we've seen as of late from these Wildcat hitters. And Sansing, his first start of the season for Air Force, has come in and done a good job of managing this lineup.
4 runs in the inning. All 4 are unearned runs tonight for Air Force, but taking advantage of it. Trading Tamia now with 2 on and 2 out. The first batter that Grace will face. Sam, the junior, 6'4". He's out of St. Charles, Missouri, and transfer from Charlotte as well. First pitch, a fastball outside, and it's 1-0.
For Tamia, he is the 9th hitter of this inning. Again, he is 1 for 3 on the day. We had a single back in the second inning, and he was thrown out as he took off the steal, 3rd pass ball. Tanner Tweed goes back, gets it to Egley, who tags him out right at the plate.
There's the 1-0 fastball on the outside portion. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sam's last outing came March 15th. 1 inning against UT Arlington, no runs, 1 hit. That's a 2-inning performance against North Dakota State. That way back in February 19th. No runs on 3 hits that day against North Dakota State. Here's the 1-1, swung on and missed. Tamia behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good pitch from Grace there. Kind of got in on the hands of Tamia. 1-2 now the count.
Grace will come set. And the 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3 on a double steal that does no damage because the side is retired. But 4 on the board for the Falcons in the 6th. They're in control now, 9-1, our new score. Back to the ballpark. We move to the bottom of the 6th. Air Force the 9-1 lead. 4 in the top of the 6th. AC will come to bat here in the bottom of the 6th. Boy, give credit. They're the starting pitcher, Jake Sansing, his longest outing of the season now for the Falcons, and he has been in control tonight. Just 68 pitches through 5 innings of work, 1 run, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts on the night. Bobby, he's really been in control. ACU has not had the opportunity to put a big inning together. Sansing really been in control all night long.
Done a really good job of scattering hits, and then had a pickoff. They've had a thrown out runner, so he's gotten some outs that weren't from the batted ball and not through strikeouts either. So he's done a really good job again, not really letting many people get around. They did get around. Randall in the 2nd leads off with a double, followed by a Ladislaw single that scored him, but no one else really able to put back-to-back hits together for this ACU lineup. It is Grayson Tatro now to the plate. He is 0 for 2 on the day. The fielder's choice and a strikeout.
Tatro currently a 19-game reached base streak that's on the line. There's a pitch inside. 1 ball in, 1 strike. Sansing again, his longest outing prior to tonight was a 3-inning performance against UNLV on March the 20th. 1 run, 5 hits that night with 2 strikeouts. So already has surpassed that with 5 complete innings, and you're working in the bottom of the 6th. Behind the count here, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Tatro's one's got to get, and you see him as he's trying to warm up there, really dropping his back shoulder. He's been getting on top of the ball, wants to be able to drive it from behind.
There's a 2-1 that skips away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, it's been a unique year. We've talked about ACU, the 15-12 record, already 4 different 3-game win streaks, 3 different 3-game losing streaks. So just been really roller coaster up and down. You look at the score tonight, 9-1. So here comes the 3-1. That's inside. They got the leadoff man on for the 5th time in 6 innings. But a 9-1 game here in the 6th. ACU's only played in one-run game all season long. It was this past weekend versus Lamar. They have played in 14 games decided by 5 runs or more. They're 8-6 in those games, so it's either feast or famine. And fortunately for the Wildcat fans tonight thus far, it's been famine. But still, 12 outs to work with in the heart of the lineup. Leadoff man on again, and Tatro, and here's Colton Eager.
Eager 0 for 2 on the day with a ground out and a fly out.
The reach base streak now has gone to 20 games for Grayson Tatro. He's on with that leadoff walk. First pitch to Eager. It's on the inside. Colton again leads the whack in doubles. He has 12 on the year. And hit one of the more impressive home runs that I've seen this year last Tuesday at TCU. The wind blowing in straight from right field. Solid 25 miles an hour. Somehow Colton cut that wind and hit one out about 332 would be my guess. I think the wall was at 330, and that ball just cleared the wall in Fort Worth.
For Tatro, he was 6 of 14 this past weekend against Lamar. 3 runs, 3 RBIs. But we continue that hot streak as we go forward, not only tonight, but tomorrow and then this weekend against Sam Houston.
Sansing setting the 1-0. Misses on the inside. 2 balls and no strikes. looking down the left field line. A little activity now in the Air Force bullpen. Sansing with an 8-run lead, but starting to wane maybe just a little bit. And of course, Coach Kozlowski does not want to give the Wildcats an opportunity to try to crawl back in this thing. There's a throw over and Tatro back in.
Notice Tatro now diving back in after he was picked off in the first inning. Trying to just step back then. He's got an average lead over at first base.
It's 2-0 the count. Here's the 2-0 to Eager. That's high. 3 balls and no strikes. Green light here. Down 8.
Down 8, no. Well, of course, he's your best hitter. I mean, he can hit it to all fields, no matter where the pitch is. You know, he's been around long enough to know what to look for. I still think with 3-0, down 8 runs, you still take here.
Yeah, you need base runners.
I've also got to think if he gets on, this would be the last hitter.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. Sansing has been crisp all night long, but a leadoff walk to Tatro, and now a 3-0 count here to Eager. So he'll come set. And it is green light all the way. It's inside for ball 4. Back-to-back walks to lead off the bottom of the 6th. Tatro to second, Eager now at first. And we look over to the third base dugout. Will we see Coach Kozlowski come out? Looks like we will. Haven't seen the official call down to the bullpen quite yet. Heck of a performance, a tip of the cap to Jake Sansing if it is his last batter of the night. The meeting of the minds, and there's the call to the bullpen.
I'd say this is about 3 innings longer than Coach Kozlowski thought it would be for Sansing, and does a good job. So we'll be back after this change. You're watching ACU Network on ESPN.
First pitching change of the night for Air Force, as we'll see the freshman right-handed pitcher, 6'3", 190-pound freshman out of Dallas McKinney North High School. It's Dylan Rogers. Dylan on the year making his 10th appearance. No record to show. 7.02 is the ERA. 16 2/3 innings of work. He's going to have 13 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, 7 walks, an opponent batting average of .286. And coming in trying to shut down the Wildcat batters here in this 6th inning, as the first 2 Wildcats have reached courtesy of the free pass for Sansing as his night came to an end. But tip of the cap to Jake Sansing, the starting pitcher tonight, his longest outing of the year. Granted, the 2 runners on the base pass are his, so can't quite close the line, but 5+ innings of work. 1 run, 4 hits thus far, 77 total pitches. Quality start for Sansing, no doubt, and he'll hand it off to the bullpen here in Rogers.
That's going to bring up Bash Randall, the shortstop for the Wildcats. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a double and the lone Wildcat run back in the 2nd inning.
So Tatro at second. He led off the inning with a walk. Eager right behind him at first, who also walked. Randall, the quality double, opposite field double, first pitch of the bottom of the 2nd. He'll take the first pitch here from Rogers in for a strike. No balls and 1 strike.
Tatro not getting a big lead off of second base. It's probably 5 or 6 feet. 0-1 now the count.
kick. Pitch will stay outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rogers again his 10th appearance. He's had a 4-inning outing against Nevada back on March the 4th. His last outing was this past weekend. He pitched an inning against Fresno State, 1 run on 1 hit in that inning of work.
Reyes goes out and talks to him real quickly. Sometimes with a runner on second, you're not used to these signals. So now they're going to go nothing on the hands, all tap signals.
Here's the 1-1. Pitch on the inside. Skipped away just for a brief moment from Reyes. He corrals. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here for your ACU, you just have to go station to station right now and see what you can do. Don't do anything foolish. See if the Falcons can help you out with pass balls or errors of their own. 9-1 Air Force, bottom of the 6th. Falcons have scored in 5 of their 6 plate appearances tonight. Here's a ball chopper.
I think that went off Randall in the
boy, it sure did.
box.
Try to walk that one off. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Umpire come out, be nice to him, look at a baseball, ask him how he feels.
Tell you what, there's something to be said for the courtesy of baseball, like that type stuff. The common fan might not know that, you know. And umpire will rub the ball off a little bit, walk out and hand it to the pitcher just to give the batter a chance to compose himself. The common fan might not understand that. Here's a ball, and this one lifted foul. Do 2-2 again.
Well, as a former catcher, and when balls will be foul tipped and hit you in all sorts of places, it's always nice to come around, brush off the plate, walk out to the mound, come back. I do remember one time I asked him to brush off the plate again.
You missed the spec.
Yeah. So there's a good working relation. Tonight's ball game, we've had a couple of close calls, but overall, been a good night for the men in blue.
Here's the 2-2. Boy, just stayed outside. Rogers wanted that call, didn't get it. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Already 2 walks in the inning. Tatro at second, Eager at first.
Even with the 3-2 count, I still don't expect the runners to take off. Again, as you said, station to station right now.
Rogers will come set. Give a look at Tatro and a second look. Payoff pitch to Randall. That misses for ball 4.
No,
it rang him up. Boy, Randall thought it was strike 3. Dropped the bat and made the first step to first base. And umpire Asa Howard says, nope, that was in the zone for strike number 3. We'll get another look at it. Ooh. Caught the inside portion for strike 3. I think Bash thought it was a little bit low, maybe even inside, but does not get the call. He's strikeout victim and out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Miller Landisol now to the plate, the left fielder for the Wildcats, 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI single.
Miller with 7 multiple hit games on the year. Good time to get number 8. It's in for a strike. We play under beautiful sky tonight. Now the lights are on. The wind is starting to die down. Maybe down into the teens now and blowing. It was up over 20 to start the night. Here's the 0-1. This one lifted. Infield fly rule in effect, but it'll make its way into shallow center field. As a matter of fact, or left field. The left fielder missed it. Garcia just absolutely misplayed that ball. As coming out the shortstop, Joe, I thought off the bat it would be maybe the infield fly rule. If that ball just kept carrying, Joe, the shortstop, kept chasing. Garcia finally calls him off, but at that point, Garcia was worried about running into Joe, and it lands. As a matter of fact, I think Garcia was going to let Joe play that, and Joe peeled off, and Garcia wasn't quite in position to make the catch. Everybody moves up 90 feet, and the bases are loaded.
So we get to Tanner Tweed, the catcher for the Wildcats. 0 for 1 on the day, didn't reach on a walk.
Ladisall was awarded a hit, so he's 2 for 3. There's the first pitch in for a strike to Tanner Tweed. So a ball that just nobody played, a mental error, but I guess a physical error in the baseball scorebook. It'll go down in that as a hit. Rogers will work out of the wind with the bases loaded. Here's the 0-1 to Tweed. Swung on and missed. It's 0-2.
Good changeup that time from Rogers. Got tweet out in front of that one. And he's done that on most of his beat. It's rare that he's gone fastball, fastball. Likes to go fastball. He's thrown a slider in there, now a changeup.
There's the kick in the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Tanner down on strikes. Boy, it's a quality at bat as far as Rogers is concerned. 3 pitches, 3 quality pitches. He gets a big second out of the inning.
Went back to the changeup that time. Again, they do a good job of it coming out of its hand. Still looks like a fastball. Has rotation like a fastball, but probably about 8 to 10 miles an hour slower. And that'll bring up Bryson Hill.
Put the burden on the shoulders of Bryson Hill here with the bases loaded.
Hill 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a fly out.
291 the current average. First pitch to Bryson. Snubbed off the end of the bat. It will roll and stay foul. Just to the left of the third base bag.
Rogers going to get a different ball. Everybody will go back and reset.
Rogers ready. Again, works out of the wind with the bases loaded. Ladisaw at third. Eager at second. There's a pitch in for a strike. It's 0-2. Tatro, excuse me, at third. Eager at second. Ladisaw is at first. No balls and 2 strikes. Here to Bryson Hill. Rogers into the wind. The 0-2. That's down low.
Another changeup.
Yeah, waste pitch. Bryson doesn't go chasing. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think he'll go back to a fastball here. It's on fastball curve change.
Bryson will have to protect here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rogers, the 1-2 curveball hit him on the inside. Time is called.
Oh, they're sending him down. I thought for a second he was going to hold him up.
Well, the catcher there, Reyes, was trying to argue that Hill did not make any chance to get out of that. Any effort to get out of the way of that one. So it hits him on the front elbow.
Grayson Tatro.
And he is there. So, yeah, Tatro comes in to score, and it's 9-2 now as the Wildcats get 1 back. The bases are still loaded with 2 outs.
Colton Eager will be at third. Miller Ladisaw at second with Hill at first, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Brett Hammett. Hammett is 1 for 2 on the day. Had a single in his last at-bat that was thrown out, trying to steal second.
Well, I tell you, it's 9-2. It's still a huge mountain to climb here, but chance to chip away here with still 10 outs to work with. It's Rogers into the wind, and the pitch here to Hammett. Ground ball, but right at the shortstop, Joe. He'll field it, fire over, and in time. Bang, bang play at first, but it's in time. 6-3 on the putout. The side is retired. The Wildcats leave them loaded. Air Force still in control. Into 6. 9-2 Falcons. And back to the ballpark. You're seeing 4 gentlemen who performed tonight's flyover, courtesy of the B-1 Lancer out of Dyess Air Force Base here in Abilene. A special night as ACU playing host to Air Force. You can see Dyess written on the front of the jerseys of ACU in honor of the Air Force Base here in town, and the Air Force Falcons being in town. Special night tonight. I tell you, Bobby, just You know, baseball is the platform where we get to recognize those who sacrifice so many sacrifices for our United States freedom, and just a special night here at the ballpark tonight.
And before the game, we had a swearing in. I believe there were 9 people there. 5 were going enlisting to the Air Force. There were 4 that were going into Marines, and they all take the same pledge. And it was really neat to watch the Air Force players as that went on, how they were paying attention because each one of them have had to make that same swearing in. So top of the 7th inning.
Sam Gray still on the mound here for the Wildcats. He'll face 9-1-2 Aaron Reyes to lead it off here for the Falcons. 9 runs, 12 hits, no errors thus far for Air Force. 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors committed tonight by ACU. Grace this pitch, a fastball in for a strike.
Reyes 0 for 2 on the night. Did reach in his last at bat when he was hit by a pitch. Came around to score the first of 4 in that 6th inning. Still looking for his first clean base hit on the season.
Grace works out of the stretch even with the bases empty. Here's a ball fouled on the right side. We can close the line on a few of ACU's relievers tonight. Carter Sales came in 1/3 of an inning. Did give up a run unearned. Also hit a batter in the 2 that he faced. Just 5 pitches for Carter Sales, again, who got the win on Sunday. So a short leash for Rick McCarty on Carter Sales. As here comes the 1-2 from Grace. Pass ball in for strike 3. And down goes Reyes on strikes. 1 up, 1 down here in the 7th. Also, we can close the line on Zach Smith. Zach, 2/3 of an inning there in the top of the 6th. Gave up 3 runs, all unearned on 2 hits. There you see Grace's fastball on the outside portion. But 3 runs, all unearned for Zach on 2 hits. 1 walk as well in the 7 batters that he faced. And now, again, Sam Grace on the mound, the 5th pitcher tonight for ACU. Here's first pitch to Blake Coven back to the top of the lineup.
And at the top of the lineup, 1 for 3 on the day. Has reached base on 3 occasions. Has 1 run scored as an RBI as well. 2 runs scored and an RBI. Hit the very first pitch of the ball game. Double out to right center. Coven now 0 for 2. Count 0-2, sorry.
Grace not afraid to attack the strike zone here. Quickly ahead 0-2. There's the kick and that 0-2. Fastball low. 1 ball in, 2 strikes.
You see Coven doing it, and I've seen some of the ACU players do it as well. When they get 2 strikes, choke up about an inch on the bat, give you a little bit more bat control.
Try to poke one in play and see if you can get on the base pass. Here's the 1-2. Lifted foul.
And Coven, for the most part, does not really load up on its backswing. He kind of starts the bat, move his hands back about 2 or 3 inches, then gets them through the zone really quickly. That allows you to get some balls that you might not have been looking for. A fastball, you can catch it late. Has a good hitting stance and good attack from that side of the plate.
1-2 misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, the midweek games this year for ACU have been such quality here over the last few weeks and leading into the month of April and into May as well. Of course, last year, no midweek games. Here's a 2-2 lifted foul. No midweek games last year because of COVID and some travel. The Southland Conference decided to go to 4-game weekends, but back to midweek games this year. We've seen the likes of Baylor and TCU already here at Abilene. Now Air Force on the road at TCU last week for the Wildcats. First win against the top 25 teams. Here's a 2-2 off speed in for a strike. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Sam Grace. 2 up, 2 down here in this 7th inning.
Well, even as you look forward, they've had UTA. They're going to play UTA again. Texas Tech.
Twice.
Home and away. So solid midweek games and getting some guys some reps. I don't know that we really counted on Sam Grace throwing tonight, but getting a good outing there as he's got back-to-back strikeouts now, as it'll be the first baseman, Sam Kulasingam, to the plate.
And not only good games on Tuesday, but some of those teams willing to come here to Abilene, which says something, I think, for the brand of baseball that Rick McCarty has built with this Wildcat program.
Kulasingam 0 for 4 on the day, has reached twice on an error and has a run scored.
swings through that one. And snowballs and 1 strike.
Promise you, he was trying to hit that one over the new video board.
The front hand came off the bat on
Yep.
that one. That was a left-handed chop. He just missed. Here's the 0-1. That's upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. We remind you this is a 2-game series. These two teams back here at Crutcher Scott tomorrow. A 3:05 first pitch. That's Central Time, 3:05. And then back into Western Athletic Conference play this weekend for the Wildcats as they host Sam Houston. There's a 2-1. That one sails away.
Just a bit outside.
A little Ricky Vaughn action here in the top of the 7th.
Glad the Wildcat wasn't out here. Hit the bull. Many years ago, when Coach McCarty was at Campbell University, they went up to play at UNC Greensboro. And they played at that the stadium where Bull Durham was shot, and that bull is still in right field. Durham Bulls no longer play there. That one chopper towards Geezer.
Yep.
Pick it up.
Geezer will make the play. 3 unassisted, and the side is retired. Nice job by the bullpen there in the inning. Sam Grace, a 1-2-3 inning. It is stretch time here at Crutcher Scott. We want to show you some of the sights and sounds from what's been a fun night. So you can see the fans who are still here in attendance tonight starting to thin out a little bit. We had a great crowd to start this thing, but the
Well, actually,
support.
the ones on the 2 of those are mine on the screen.
Oh, you
It's
get credit for
Miss
those, huh?
McCarty, it's her mother and my wife and daughter.
Love seeing the Air Force logo on some of the
Oh, yeah.
on some of the shirts tonight, and of course the ACU Wildcat logo as well.
And even though our viewers obviously weren't here to see it, the flyover, it is quite impressive. And in here, we actually knew where the plane was coming from, but as it got over top of us, it is almost a deafening sound of the engines of that B-1 bomber. And we got to see their crew that was able to make it back up here before the end of the ball game. And a great atmosphere here for baseball tonight.
If you have not been out to Crutcher Scott for a game, you're missing out. One, the quality of baseball is good. 2, the experience here by the ACU sports department, their marketing department, just putting on a quality product, well worth the time and investment to come out and be a part of ACU athletics and this Wildcat baseball program. Some work to do tonight as we move to the bottom of the 7th. Air Force the 9-2 lead. 9 runs, 12 hits, no errors for Air Force. 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors thus far tonight for ACU.
It'll be 9-1-2 in the lineup for the Wildcat. Hunter Geezer now to the plate. Geezer 0 for 2 on the day with a fly out and a strikeout. Dylan Rogers back on the mound for the Falcons.
Rogers' 2nd inning of relief after the starter Sansing went 5+ into the 6th. There's a ball skied, foul out of play right side. Geezer's a tall drink of water if you haven't been around him. 6'3", but 230. He's out of Burleson, Texas, transfer from Weatherford College. Good looking specimen on a baseball field. Rogers into the wind and the 0-2. This one hit right back up the box into center field, a base hit.
Geezer really just set on that one, an 0-2 count. And Rogers on the other 0-2 counts would usually go out of the strike zone. That one stayed up. It's a changeup, and a good job not getting too far out in front of it. Lines it right back where it came from. And that'll send us to the top of the order. Mitchell Dixon, 1 for 2 on the day. It's a single and also a walk.
And tell me, Bobby, if I'm correct here, that's the 6th time in 7 innings the leadoff man has been on. Is that correct?
Yes.
6 times in 7 innings that the leadoff man has been on. And now the top of the lineup. That's credit to both teams. One, you get the leadoff man on 6 times in 7 innings. And then props to Air Force for pitching and defense coming into play and keeping them from coming all the way around. Runs have been hard to come by tonight for the Wildcats. There's a pitch swung on and missed by Dixon. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Again, Rogers doing a good job. Starts off fastball, then immediately went back to off speed. Got Dixon out in front of that one. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mitchell step back in. There's a pitch on the inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mitchell on the year, 6 multiple hit games. And 1 for 2 tonight. It's also a walk, so he's been on the base pass twice.
And on that pitch, it's a changeup. He seems to miss it more to the arm side, which would be the inside of a right-handed batter.
There's a 2-1, swung on and missed on the outside.
And went back to the fastball. Good pitch.
Yep. Mitchell asked the umpire there, was that a strike? And the umpire says yes. That was on the outside black. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Go, Mitch. Go, Mitch.
Gingizer at first. No outs here. Bottom of the 7th. 9-2. The Falcons on top.
Rogers, curveball swung on and missed by Dixon, and he's down on strikes. First out here at the bottom of the 7th.
Just the 8th strikeout of the year by Mitchell Dixon. And that's going to bring up the center fielder, Grayson Tatro. Tatro on the night is 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning and then was walked to open up the 6th inning. Later came around to score. Actually scored when Bryson Hill was hit by a pitch.
Bases loaded walk that back in the 6th inning. And Rogers will come set. And the first pitch here to Grayson swung on and missed. Pitch low, and Grayson had the home run swing. Just missed the baseball. It's 0-1.
That's one of the first times that Rogers has started off a hitter with an off-speed pitch. He usually tries to get ahead with that fastball. Now 0-1 the count.
There's the kick, and pitch catches the plate as well. No balls and 2 strikes. Air Force with 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the 5th, 4, the big number, in the 6th. All 4 unearned in that 6th inning. The big hit of the night came back in the 3rd. It was a 2-run home run by Paul Skeins. Ball that left the yard down the left field line. There's a ball on the inside. And Tatro still behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, going to shorten up his swing a little bit. Chokes up just a touch.
This righty-lefty matchup. There's a pitch hit the opposite way. Third baseman has it cleanly. He'll go the short way and over to first. Not in time, but a nice play by Thomason. A few steps to his left. Able to make that play, get it to Tamia at second. The turn not in time, it's a fielder's choice, but nonetheless a second out on the lead runner. On again a nice play made by Thomason at third.
Now right fielder Colton Eager coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day. It's a ground out, a fly out, was walked in his last at bat before being stranded at third.
We can see in the replay there, Thomason so far to his left was able, with his momentum going that way, to underhand toss to second base to Tamia. So he was only about 30 feet from the bag, so nice easy underhand toss. But
pretty sure they don't even practice that.
Here's Eager well out front on an off-speed pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 0-1.
Good pitch sequence here tonight from Air Force. We saw that with Sansing early in the game. We see it now. They've kind of had these ACU hitters off-balanced. Where he had gone fastball, then changeup or off-speed. Now he's gone off-speed. We'll see if he comes back with a fastball.
And the kick in the 0-1. This one, chopper deep in the hole at second base. Tamia had it fielded perfectly in the shallow outfield grass. He'll make the play, throw over in time. And the side is retired. We've completed 7 at Crutcher Scott. Air Force in control. 9-2 Falcons tonight. Tomorrow with Air Force, back to WAC conference play this weekend. Sam Houston in town for 3 this weekend. A battle of 2 first-place teams in the Southwest Division. UTA, the midweek game next week before a fun trip out non-conference to Fresno State. Then back to conference with UT Rio Grande Valley and a trip to Lubbock, Texas Tech, a midweek game on April 26th. For Air Force, boy, they play in the WAC this week. Cal Baptist makes their way to Colorado Springs this weekend for a 3-game set, and then trip to northern Colorado, a series at Nevada, 2 games down at Disch-Falk Field in Austin against Texas, and then the rematch with Fresno State in Colorado Springs, April 22nd through the 24th. There's a look at the schedules. Bobby, I think you had said you've been to Air Force Field in Colorado Springs. I don't think many places would beat the backdrop of Pikes Peak for a baseball diamond. Air Force might take the prize on that deal.
It is definitely beautiful. But if you've never been here to watch a West Texas sunset,
no doubt,
there's nothing better than that.
No doubt.
Very blessed to be having been in both of those places before.
The bottom line is, if you're at a ballpark, that's a pretty good night. It's a pretty good night. It really doesn't matter which one it is. There's a ball upstairs. So we start at the top of the 8th.
At the plate. He is 1 for 4 on the night. Does have a single and a run scored. And it's Sam Grace still on the bump for the Wildcats.
And came in the 6th. He's still out there in the 8th. Here's a ball fouled out of play. Okay, what's your favorite stadium? College, professional?
Well, the professional ones are so – they've got everything now.
Sure.
I am a New York Yankees fan. I've been to Old Yankee Stadium, New Yankee Stadium. Both of those were really great for the Monument Park and all the other things. South Carolina, in Columbia, South Carolina, is a great place to watch a ball game at. It's really not a bad seat in the house. But then you also go, there's some old stadiums like we did the old stadium. It's Memorial Stadium in Durham, North Carolina.
Yep.
Outstanding place. The first renovated stadium I went to was Camden Yards at Baltimore. And I think everybody else started after that with these new stadiums. And as Sam Grace gets the strikeout there, 3rd strikeout of the night by Garcia. That'll bring us to Paul Skeins. Skeins on the day is 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. It's at 2 singles and a deep home run.
Good pitch there, as you saw by Grace. That's his 4th strikeout of the night. But yeah, here's the toughest out of the lineup is Skeins. First pitch skips in for a ball. You know, I have not been to Pittsburgh, the Pirates Stadium, but on television, that backdrop of the river and the skyline is, boy, that's got to be a good one. On the AA level, the field in Corpus Christi, the Corpus Christi Hooks, very similar right on the bay. Pretty look down there in Corpus. There's a ball upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes to Skeins.
I think the first professional stadium I ever went to actually was in San Antonio, the Mission.
Yeah.
Used to be the minor league stop for the Dodgers.
AA, if I remember right, yeah. There's a good Texas league here in town. So there's a 2-0. A team in Midland, the Rockhounds, the AA affiliate of the Oakland A's. Of course, Frisco and the Rough Riders with the Texas Rangers.
Drive it in there, boy. Execute.
That's a nice stadium, too, if you haven't been to Frisco yet.
Where we live in Kentucky, Louisville has the Louisville Bats, which is the AAA affiliate for the Reds. To watch some of their stars come through. That one fouled off.
Green light for Skeins at 3-0. Skeins, again, as you mentioned, the 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning. And if you're just tuning in, yeah, he's 3 for 3 tonight at the plate as the DH. He is the current Mountain West Conference Pitcher of the Week after 6 scoreless innings against Fresno State on Friday. Can do a little bit of everything. Here's the 3-1. That catches the inside. Skeins didn't like it, but it's 3-2.
I think he probably would have thrown a bullpen today. I wish I could have been down there because they, again, raving about him. 96, 98 fastball. 6'6", 235 pounds. Sophomore.
Grace goes for strikeout number 5. Here's a ball chopper up the middle. Second baseman will play it over in time. Hammett over to Geezer. Plenty of time, 4-3 on the putout. And 2 up, 2 down here for Grace. Grace has a perfect 2 innings. Yeah, he's faced the minimum 6 batters. He has 4 strikeouts. And 2 groundouts, and he's done it in 31 pitches. And that's what Rick McCarty really needed tonight as you look in the ACU dugout, as Grace is the 5th pitcher of the night. And again, we touched on it a few times with a 5-game week this week. Needs some quality tonight, and right now it's been Sam Grace who's brought it.
We have a substitution in the game. Jason Booker now at the plate takes the spot of Jake Grieving in right field. Get you the numbers on Booker here after this pitch.
And Booker, the average at 231, 26 at bats. He's 6 of 26. No home runs, 4 RBIs on the season. Booker steps in. Grace, the 1-1 fastball hit foul right side. 1 ball in, 2 strikes.
And Grace has been able to work inside and outside. Hasn't really mixed in a lot of off-speed pitches, mainly working with that fastball. It's got good movement on it and has been able to keep it down.
Chance to get out of the inning here. Here's the 1-2, foul back to the screen. We'll do 1 and 2 again.
So 2 outs here, top of the 8th inning. Air Force on top, 9-2 over ACU.
Grace will come set. One of the few pitchers who actually shows the ball out of the glove right before he throws it. There's that 1-2, fastball on the outside.
So like it, trying to overthrow that one just a little bit. Skips it in there.
Again, his first year here in a Wildcat uniform, the transfer from Charlotte, where he appeared in 8 games last year. Here comes the 2-2, that's lifted foul. We'll do 2-2 again. Staying alive is Jason Booker. Booker, the 5'11" freshman. He's out of Fairfield, California. Gets an at-bat in here. We talked about ACU having 10 different states represented on their roster. Air Force might have that beat. Didn't bother to count that up prior to, but they've got majority of the United States covered on this roster. Here's a pitch high and tight, and it hits him in the helmet. And Booker will make his way down with a 2-out hit by a pitch. And the first batter that has reached since Sam Grace came in. Here's a ball. Yeah, Booker just turns the helmet. Nice easy nick off the top. And he'll make his way down to first base.
Didn't really get on top of that pitch, did Grace. Not able to pull it down. And so now that will bring up Jay Thomason, the 3rd baseman. Thomason 2 for 4 today as an RBI. As a single and a double.
First pitch up here will stay upstairs.
And this is where Coach McCarty wants to get. You got 2 outs. You know, you got to prevent, and it happened a couple innings ago where they scored several runs with 2 outs. Got to get out of these innings.
Fastball, good looking pitch there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Air Force hard to beat when you get this deep in the game. They're 10-1 when they have the lead after 7 innings. They've led throughout tonight. They have scored in 5 of their 7 innings. Here's a runner on the move, hit and run, swung through and missed. Booker dives in safely to second base. He's got the stolen base. But batter interference actually called here at home plate. So the stolen base will not stand. Batter interference called, and the side is retired. You can see Booker gets there, but again, out at home plate. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th. Air Force a 9-2 lead. You can see here at the top of the 8th, the stolen base, but batter interference called right here at home plate by Jay Thomason. I guess he had stepped across into the throwing lane of Tanner Tweed, and it'll go as the final out of the top of the 8th. Move to the bottom of the 8th. Air Force in control with 9-2 lead.
It'll be 4, 5, 6 in the Wildcat lineup. Bash Randall at the plate. Dylan Rogers still on the mound for the Falcons. Randall 1 for 3 on the day with a double and a run scored.
9, 12, and 0 for Air Force tonight. 9 runs, 12 hits, no errors. 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for the Wildcats. The pitch misses upstairs. I think the storyline of the night tonight, 3 defensive errors by ACU have led to 5 of the 9 runs that have scored have been unearned tonight. And then the other storyline, the pitching tonight of Air Force. Jake Sansing, his longest outing of the year, 5 innings, just gives up 2 runs on 4 hits. And now here in relief, Dylan Rogers into his 3rd inning, no runs on 2 hits. The Falcon pitching tonight has been pretty quality stuff. They have shut down an ACU lineup. A team batting average of 288 coming in on the night. But it's been tough offense tonight for the home team.
3-1 now, the count to Randall as he steps back in.
Bash has one of those hits tonight. Stays outside for ball 4. So again, the leadoff man is on here for the Wildcats.
Miller Ladisaw now to the plate. 2 for 3 on the day. Had one of the stranger singles in his last at bat. He had a high pop up to
shallow left
field, and Garcia just misplays it and doesn't even hit his glove. But 2 runners on at the time, they were only able to move up 1 place. So down a hit with a runner at first. That one in there for a strike. Ladisaw did not agree with the umpire on that one.
You know what? Hey, I've never been an umpire, but I don't know if I'd want to be. Half the stadium's mad at you all the time, no matter what.
And it can switch from which half.
Here's a pitch down and in, 1 ball in, 1 strike. Miller, the 2nd team academic All-Southland Conference a year ago, his freshman season. He played in 47 games last year. He hit .322, 56 hits. 18 multi-hit games a year ago for an ACU lineup that all 9 are back. The 9 in the batting lineup, all back this year for 2022. Here's the 1-1 that misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. And I still don't think, Bobby, and you tell me, at 15 and 12, I don't think this team has hit their peak yet.
No,
there's better baseball in the bag somewhere.
We looked at last year's record. The same weekend, they were 16 and 11. Then they go 20 and 10 the rest of the year. This is a big week if ACU wants to do that again this year. Big here against.
So here's a ball driven left side. Will it stay fair? It's right down the line, just fouls. The home plate umpire, Asa Howard, running down that 3rd base line and watched it tail foul. But yeah, I was with the Wildcats last year in Austin, a 3-game series against the University of Texas, which did not go well, but something that weekend kind of clicked. That was the time when the Wildcats were 10 and 10 in conference. And after that series, boy, really played well down the stretch to win the Southland. At the time, they were in 8th place in the Southland at 10 and 10. And over the course of the back half of conference play last year, crept all the way up to 1st to win the outright conference championship.
An 11-game winning streak. I think they won 13 of the last 14 they played, heading into the conference tournament. But you're talking about all 9 batters back.
So here's a full count, swung on and missed. And down on strikes.
Ladisaw the first out in this inning. But McCarty's first year here, they had 19 seniors.
Yeah.
That team finished with a 500, I believe it was 22 and 22.
26.
Oh,
yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
But I was here the last weekend, and that senior day ceremony. I've never seen that many people on the field. They went from third to first, just about at second, too. A lot of individuals out here.
Here's Tanner Tweed, first pitch swinging. The PA announcer needed a relief appearance during that senior ceremony. That's how many were out on the field.
Tweed coming in is 0 for 2 on the day. He did reach on a walk, has a ground out and a strikeout. Randall at first. In the bottom of the 8th inning.
Now, Rogers comes set, and the pitch foul third base side. Don't forget, these two teams do it again tomorrow at 3:05 Central Time, first pitch here from Crutcher Scott. A unique 2-game midweek series. I believe the only one of the season for ACU, a 2-game non-conference midweek.
But it seems for Air Force like it's a routine thing. A couple weeks ago, they were at Oklahoma for a 2-game series.
Yep.
Their last Tuesday ball game was actually, or midweek game was in Manhattan, Kansas, so they took on Kansas State, defeated the Wildcats 4-3 in that one.
And if you didn't hear, just a unique story of how they got here. They didn't fly commercially. They didn't even, well, I guess, do you call that a charter when you fly straight to the Air Force Base here in Abilene?
For them,
Courtesy
it is.
Did you say a C-130? Courtesy of C-130?
That's what it looked like.
Tweed driving one deep in the shortstop hole. Long throw, not in time for Joe. It pulled the first baseman, Kulasingam, off the bag, but I think Tweed would have beat that out. We'll wait for the official scoring, but
Yep.
Randall would have been safe at second. Nice play here for Joe, deep in the hole, but just couldn't get enough velocity on that one to throw out Tweed. It is an infield single, hit number 7 for the Wildcats. Runners at first and second with the 1 out.
Bryson Hill now to the plate, the third baseman. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He did reach when he was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat.
Did you say it was a C-130?
That's what it looked like. All they did was they took a picture from inside, and the players are actually lining the outside of this. They're all in seats. Again, it's basically like a 4-point harness that's on them.
Man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's the backstories. You know, we get to show the between-the-lines stuff on the broadcast, but some of the backstories are what makes sports so special, and the relationships built between players and memories made. It's not all between the lines. That's some neat stuff.
And we talked about the recruiting. It's different
Yeah.
to Air Force. And in fact, in the United States, of people 17 to 23, which is when you can go to one of the military academies, only 28% of 17-year-old to 23-year-olds would qualify to make it into any of the service academies. Wow. Obviously, there's an academic side to it, but there's also a physical side to it, and not meaning you have to be in shape or not in shape or something like that, but the health. They do not want allergies, like food allergies and things. Color blindness is another one. So there's a lot of other things that go into how you get to Air Force Academy, but play baseball also. Understanding that, obviously, is Coach Kozlowski, and played there. Graduates, serves 20 years as a pilot, retires, hired the next day, be the coach. And he gets it. He understands his mission here at Air Force.
One thing you will not see on the Air Force roster, as here's the 2-2 outside. One thing you do not see on the Air Force roster are transfers.
No.
The transfer portal really doesn't come into play for athletes at the Air Force Academy. And compliments to these guys. Their daily routine is something that guys like me, the average Joe in this country, could not handle. The discipline of what these guys do day in and day out. As here's a walk, and that'll load the bases as Hill walks. But what these guys do day in and day out is nothing short of impressive.
I'll give you a story, and this actually comes from the military academy. A good friend of mine was up there. He was a wrestler for Army, gets injured during the year, has to go into the hospital and have surgery. Goes in, and freshmen at the military academy are not allowed to have televisions. So the second day that he's in there recovering from surgery, one of the seniors from the military academy comes up to check on him, sees a TV, takes the TV off the wall, That time it was actually like a big box TV, but took it off the wall, put it in a storage cabinet, and let the hospital know that he was not allowed to have a television
Oh my goodness.
while it was in the hospital.
Got a visit to the mound here as Dylan Rogers looks like he'll stay out. You can see some work down in the Air Force bullpen. Stephen Fairburn getting loose, but Rogers will stay in after a quick visit here. Bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. And Brett Hammett makes his way to the plate.
Hammett 1 for 3 on the night, had a single, and then was thrown out trying to steal, grounded out in his last at-bat. Now bases loaded, 1 out.
Rogers will work out of the wind. We saw this when he came in relief. As there's a pitch on the inside. Boy, Hammett wanted to wear it, but he thought about it instinctively too late, and he let it go by for ball 1. Can the Wildcats make a little push here in the final 2 innings? They've got the bases loaded, down by 7. Here's a Hammett grounder, chopper foul. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, this has been pretty typical for ACU this year. They have 14 games this year decided by 5 runs or more. The spread has been 5 runs or more. They're 8-6 in those games. So we're playing a pretty typical Wildcat type of baseball game tonight. So here's the 1-1. That's down low. Nice stop by the catcher, Reyes. 2 balls and 1 strike.
So 2-1 now, the count. Hammett sits ready. Swings through that one. 2-2 now, the count. And there's been innings where ACU's gotten runners on. 7 left on base.
And they've had runners, I believe, in all but 1 inning tonight. 1, 2, 3 inning, but that's been it. There's a pitch swung on and missed by Hammett. Couldn't lay off the high one, and he's down on strikes. Big second out. And Rogers, after just a quick visit from the dugout, comes right back and gets the strikeout.
Hunter Gieser now to the plate for the Wildcats, 1 for 3 on the day with a single.
This base is still loaded here.
And the Wildcats had the bases loaded back in the 6th inning as well.
Yep.
Only able to get 1 across the plate there. Way out in front of that one was Gieser.
An off-speed pitch there, Gieser. Cannot lay off of that one. It's 0-1. Gieser did get on base earlier. Tatro tonight has extended his reach base streak to 20 games. Eager does not have a hit tonight. Colton Eager, his current 6-game hitting streak is on the line. Tanner Tweed, also a 6-game hitting streak coming into tonight. He does have a hit, so that has extended to 7. There's Randall at third. With the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 8th. Air Force the 9-2 lead. Rogers into the wind. There's a ball lifted into right field. Long run for Grieving. He'll now come in, make a dive, and make a catch. Boy, a beautiful sliding catch in fair territory. That would have been a fair ball. But Grieving, one heck of a catch to retire the Wildcats in the bottom of the 8th. They leave them loaded. Air Force still leads 9-2. And we move to the top of the 9th. We'll see the Wildcats' 6th pitcher of the night as Mitch White, the junior right-handed pitcher. He wears number 35. He's out of Lansing Community College. Grew up in Michigan. 6'1", 190-pound junior Mitch White. White on the year. This is 7th appearance, 5 1/3 innings of work, 3 runs, all earned on 9 hits, has 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, an opponent batting average of .391. And he'll come in to face the Falcons here in the top of the 9th inning. Air Force the 9-2 lead, 9 runs, 12 hits, no errors committed. ACU with 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors committed tonight. So Mitch will take over after a nice performance by Sam Grace. We'll close out his line here in just a moment as again we move to the top of the 9th.
It'll be 7, 8, 9 in the lineup for the Falcons. Eric Joe, Trayton Tamia, and Aaron Reyes. The scheduled hitters. And I do think that is Joe on the on-deck circle. He is 2 for 3 on the night with 2 singles, a run scored, and an RBI.
We close the line on Sam Grace, the 6'4 junior. Sam, a nice night tonight. 2 1/3 innings of relief. No runs and no hits. 4 strikeouts, no walks on 41 pitches. He did hit a batter. But other than that, a solid outing tonight for Sam Grace. And he'll give way again here to Mitch White. And White making his 7th appearance of the night.
Again, Eric Joe at the plate.
White will work out of the stretch even with the bases empty. Most relievers do that. You see probably 50-50 on guys who just work out of the stretch all the time, especially if they're relievers. First pitch here by White's fouled back. Yeah, it's 0-1.
So again, these two teams will square off again tomorrow. 3:05 scheduled first pitch. Rumor has it there will be another flyover tomorrow.
There's a pitch. That's in for a strike. It's 0-2. So do these guys stay on the base tonight, or will they stay hotel?
I would say hotel. I mean, bases have Army base is called BOQs, and base owned or base operated quarters.
Yep.
Typically, it's like a 1-bedroom apartment, so I doubt that it's exactly what they meant. Now, there are some hotels. There's a strikeout. Good pitch from White, got him to chase it upstairs. But my bet is they would be in a local hotel.
Okay. There's a good look at it again on the strikeout. Well, pitch just up, letter high, and Joe swung through it, and he's down on strikes. First strikeout of the night here for Mitch White.
Trading Tamia now at the plate. Tamia 1 for 4 on the day, a single. And he was actually stealing third back in the 2nd inning. Pass ball or wild pitch, and he tries to take home. It's thrown out at the plate.
So got credit for the stolen base 2nd to 3rd, but then thrown out trying to advance 3rd to home. White will come set, and this pitch lifted into left field. A long run for Lattisall, but he does have room just inside of the foul line, just shy of the warning track for a long fly ball out. Quickly 2 up, 2 down.
So bring up the catcher, Aaron Reyes. Reyes 0 for 3 on the day. Didn't reach when he was hit by a pitch and scored a run. Yep, and I believe coming into tonight's game, he just played in 3 games, so this is his 4th game. He was 0 for 5 here early in the season.
First pitch swung on and missed.
It's a good slider on the outside. Due up in the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be 1, 2, 3 in the Wildcat order.
A lot of work to do with 3 outs to work with. Air Force been in control all night long tonight. Wildcats have helped with 3 defensive errors. 5 of the 9 runs tonight are unearned. And the Air Force pitching has been quality, consistent all night long. Wildcats have stranded 10 runners on the base pass tonight, too.
Just 2 pitchers tonight used for Air Force.
Yep.
White is the 6th pitcher.
There's a fastball, and he's 1 pitch away from a clean top of the 9th inning.
Reyes will step back in.
Yep. Have to talk to the bat when it's 1 and 2. Reyes will give
It's
some
like
words of confidence to the bat as he steps back in.
Like when you have an error, you look at your glove. It's the glove's fault.
I looked at my glove a lot back in my playing day. Here's a 1-2.
Strike
Swung
3.
on and missed. It's a perfect top of the 9th for Mitch White. He gets the strikeout. 2 strikeouts in the inning. The side is retired. We'll move to the bottom of the 9th. 9-2 Air Force. And welcome you back here to the bottom of the 9th is where we move. As you can see in right field, that's Jason Booker in right field. I need to give credit where credit is due. That was Booker who made the sliding catch in right field back in the bottom of the 8th to retire the Wildcats and leave them loaded. And now we move to the bottom of the 9th. New pitcher here for the Falcons, the 3rd pitcher of record for Air Force. It's Stephen Fairburn Jr. who steps on the mound. Fairburn, a 6'2" senior out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Roll Tide. Not tonight. He's a Falcon tonight. No record on the year. 18 is the ERA. 4 innings of work as he makes his 6th appearance. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk on the night for Fairburn, the first lefty of the night that we'll see for the Falcons. Work to do here for the Wildcats. 7 to tie, 8 to get the W tonight. It's an uphill battle here with the new pitcher on the mound.
It'll be the top of the order for the Wildcats. Mitchell Dixon, Grayson Tatro, and Colton Eager. Dixon is 1 for 3 on the night. 1 for 3 on the night with a single. Does have a fly out and a strikeout as well. Also reached on a walk. And hands down has the best mustache.
He'll be the first to face Fairburn here, who again works out of the stretch. And the first pitch misses for a ball. We can close the line on Dylan Rogers, the 6'3" freshman who pitched great in relief tonight. He came in the 6th inning. No runs, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He faced 15 batters, 61 pitches of work, 38 strikes and 61 pitches. 3 innings of scoreless baseball out of the bullpen for Dylan Rogers. So this week, this 2-game set is set up, well, really the whole week is set up perfectly for Coach Mike Kozlowski and his pitching staff.
You can see it when they show the side view of the batters. You can see Kozlowski in the background. And again, it's one of the most intense head coaches I've ever been able to see. That one in there for a strike. 2-1 now the count.
There's a good one. I mean, he's ready.
He's ready to go.
That's the hot corner. If there's been a hot corner, that's one of them. It's entertaining to watch. There's 2-1 outside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
But on the second ball that was thrown, the ball that got away from Reyes, he's the one who runs over and picked it up, tosses it back to the other dugout. And they say he never sits still. And, just the time we're watching him, he hasn't sat still. There's
a ball upstairs.
Yeah,
well, that's in for a strike. It said 2-2 on the scoreboard. I believe it's 3-1, so now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Still working the stat sheet, the notes here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
For the Wildcat hitters, the ball's coming out of a different hole. It's not only left-handed, but he's also sidearm.
Payoff pitch fouled out of play, right side. We'll do 3-2 again.
And the first 2 pitches he threw to Reyes. Reyes guessed on the first one. It looked like he didn't set up where the ball ended up at, and he misses the second one. I think it's just more of a swinging, breaking ball was that second one. It breaks a whole lot from a sidearm delivery.
There's a 3-2 again, and Dixon will rip this one right back up the middle for a base hit. And the leadoff man, again, Bobby, correct me, at least for the 7th time in 9 innings, the leadoff man is on here for the Wildcats. I know it's been a bunch.
No, back when I coached in high school, it was 47% of the time a leadoff hitter got on with no outs that they would score. Now, it's obviously it's not as good in the college level,
right?
But still, to get them on that many times and only push 2 runs across, talks about the pitching, talks about the defense that Air Force has had tonight.
That's the 7th multiple hit game of the year for Mitchell now, as he's at first base.
Grayson Tatro now at the plate.
And Mitchell on the move. He'll get the second base. It'll be defensive indifference. Nobody holding him on. Cool seeing him not holding him on at first. Dixon will take second. He's in scoring position. The pitch in for a strike. It's 0-1. Again, Tatro, the hit earlier tonight. The hitting streak now at, or check that, the reach base streak at 20 games. And he'll rip this one into right field and deep. And he will watch this one fly. It's a 2-run home run for Grayson Tatro here in the bottom of the 9th. For Tatro, it's home run number 8. RBIs number 28 and 29. He turned on a fastball and took it out of the park. It's now 9-4 Air Force here in the bottom of the 9th.
He smoked that ball. That's his second scored run of the day. Came into that at bat actually 0 for 3 on the day. Reached twice on fielder's choices. That one a no-doubt shot.
He'll get an early shower there in the bullpen. He just turns on this one in a hurry. Off-speed pitch. It hung up and he drove it out of the ballpark. It's 380 to the power alleys, and that was in that area, 380. So 9-4 now. The first long ball. Home run on the season for the team. That's home run number 36 for the Wildcats in 28 games.
Colton Eager now to the plate. 0 for 3 on the day. Did reach on a walk. He has grounded out twice and had a fly out.
ACU leads the WAC in home runs. That, again, number 36. Tennessee, who we saw earlier, they're ranked number 1 in the country. They've hit 69 home runs this year. Show you something about the number 1 team in the country. It should have been 70. Did you see the one that the guy hits a home run and Vanderbilt wants to check his bat, and his bat didn't meet standard, and they called him out.
Yeah, and it's really a heads-up play by the catcher. To explain it a little bit more, the bats have to be checked before ball games, and typically in college they'll check them before a series. Both of a compression test and a ring test, see if the ring slides all the way through, so that the bat's not oversized or has not been manipulated, and they get stickers. Well, this sticker for Tennessee was from a midweek game earlier that week and had not been checked for the weekend series.
There's a slow roller and a great play by Tamia at second. Charges in the infield grass. Throws out the speedy Eager at first base. 4-3 on the putout.
That'll bring up the shortstop, Bash Randall. Randall led off the second inning with a double and came around to score on the single by Miller Ladisaw. Fortunately, since then he's had a ground out and a strikeout. He'd reach on a walk as he was the first batter in the 8th inning.
Jake Sansing is in line to be the winning pitcher tonight. Again, the starter for the Falcons went 5 innings, his longest outing of the season. 2 runs, 4 hits in those 5 innings of work. 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 77 pitches, 44 were strikes. As Jake Sansing is in line for his first win of the year. Of course, this is his first start of the year, I believe. Yeah, his 8th appearance, but his first start. And check that, he had a 1-1 record, but in relief. This is his first start of the year. Here's a ground ball to shortstop. Eric Joe has it cleanly. Throw over in time. Bash Randall is retired, and the Wildcats down to their final out.
And they did a good job, even with the sequence of pitches, both with Sansing and then with Rogers, kind of keeping these ACU hitters off balance. Not always with curveballs. It was a lot of changeups that were thrown in there and able to get some of the ACU batters out in front of it. That's going to bring left fielder Miller Ladisaw to the plate. Ladisaw 2 for 4 on the day with 2 singles and an RBI.
Garrett Egley will take the loss tonight if this game holds with 2 outs in the 9th. And his first decision of the year. He'll be 0-1. Here's a ball hit opposite way, which will trickle into left field for a base hit. Ladisaw's going to round first, make his way to second, and he will get there. It's a 3-hit night for Miller Ladisaw. And the game continues here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
Now we'll bring up the catcher, Tanner Tweed. Tweed 0 for 2 on the night, did reach on a walk as a ground out and a strikeout. Oh, sorry, he's 1 for 3 on the night. He had a single in his last at-bat. Later was stranded at second.
It's Ladisaw's now 8th multiple hit game. 4th time he's had 3 hits in a game. And it continues. Wildcats still with a little fight here. It's bottom of the 9th inning. Already seen a 2-run home run by Grayson Tatro earlier in the inning. Each team with 1 long ball tonight. Here's the first pitch to Tweed in for a strike. And actually a balk is called here, so no pitch. A balk is called, and Ladisaw will make his way to third base.
I don't think he stopped when he came set. As a pitcher with a runner on base, you must come set. It's so to not quick pitch.
Yeah, you'll see it here. Quick look at it, but a balk was called out by the second base umpire. No count. So no count here to Tanner Tweed.
So now it'll be a runner at third.
Fairbairn's first pitch. This one fouled right side. Again, don't forget, the second game of the series is tomorrow, a 3:05 first pitch, Central Time, 3:05 between Air Force and ACU. Wildcats return to WAC conference play this weekend as they host Sam Houston. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday's 6:05 first pitch here from Crutcher Scott. Crucial series. 2 teams tied for first in the Southwest Division. A 3-way tie with Lamar. 12 games down in conference, 18 to go. But this marks the halfway mark after this weekend with Sam Houston. The Wildcats will have seen all 5 teams in the Southwest Division, and they'll see them again at the opposite location on the backside. Parity in the Southwest in the WAC. Here's a 1-1 swung on and missed. The Wildcats down to their last few strikes here. 1 ball, well, their last strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that was another good off-speed pitch, got him out in front of it. Unable to get a bat on it.
Falcons scored in 5 of the first 6 innings tonight. They led 9-1 midway through the 6th. Have held on here to a 9-4. Here's the 1-2, that's down in the dirt. Nice stop by Reyes behind the plate. Stephen Fairburn Jr. has the Falcons 1 pitch away from claiming the victory. Air Force will move to 11-15. And the Wildcats 1 strike away from 15-13 on the year. Tweed back in. Ladisaw at third. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The kick, the 2-2, boy, just missed on the inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bryson Hill does wait on deck.
(3-2) the count.
Yep. Tweed a long step out of the box, but he's back in now. Fairburn has the one he likes. The kick and the payoff pitch. Curveball, Tweed a chopper third base side. Fielded cleanly by Thomason. Throw over in time. And the putout is made 5-3 on the putout. The side is retired, and the game is in the books. The Wildcats do get 2 in the inning, courtesy of a Grayson Tatro 2-run home run. But this one in the books, Bobby, it was all about pitching and defense tonight. Air Force had the pitching and defense. ACU with 3 costly errors, 5 unearned runs tonight for the Falcons, and that really proved to be the difference.
Absolutely, just kept them off balance all night. And then on the offensive side, took advantage of 3 errors by the Wildcats. These 2 teams will square it back up tomorrow. First pitch time set for 3:05.
A special thanks to all of those in our armed forces, especially our friends in the Air Force Academy. Appreciate all you do in support of our great country, the sacrifices you make for the freedoms and the enjoyment we get to get on nights like tonight just to watch baseball. We appreciate all you do. Garrett Egley takes the loss tonight, and for Air Force again, Jake Sansing takes the win. 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 innings of work for Sansing. He is now 2-1 on the year. For Bobby Thompson, I'm Andy Penny. We say a special thanks to Will King, Hutton Harris, and the entire ACUTV crew. Again, our final score tonight from Crutcher Scott in Abilene, Texas. Air Force 9 and ACU 4. We will talk to you down the road. This has been a production of the Western Athletic Conference on ESPN+. Good night, everyone.